England Patriots in their first ever meeting. For Bill Parcells and his Patriots, last week's 31-0 win over Arizona has provided a major lift. Today, Parcells will be facing his one-time assistant, former head coach of Boston College, Tom Coughlin. Coughlin and his Jaguars hoping to recapture the form that saw them beat Pittsburgh on opening day 4 weeks ago. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Sam Wyche. And Sam, there are several common threads running through today's game. The long-time relationship between the two head coaches and the quarterbacks. Mark Brunelle, who played at the University of Washington, Drew Bledsoe played collegiately at Washington State, and Bledsoe comes off a strong game last week against the Cardinals.
And off a good offseason of rehabilitating that left shoulder, a new quarterback coach in Chris Palmer, a new #1 draft pick in Terry Glenn. And last week, he spread the ball around to 6 different receivers. This week, we find out if he can do it against a better team.
All right, on the Patriots, a major concern is the scrambling ability of Mark Brunelle, who last week was held to only 4 yards on the ground by the Oakland Raiders.
Well, scrambling is not a problem in his mind. It's throwing interceptions. He's thrown 6 already this year. Last year, he was the second fewest intercepted quarterback in the league behind Jim Harbaugh. Some have been tipped, some have bounced off of people, but he's forced a few. The bottom line is, for Jacksonville to win, they've got to quit beating themselves with turnovers.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars hoping to revert to their form 4 weeks ago when they convincingly knocked off the Pittsburgh Steelers on opening day. Back with the kickoff in a moment. Back in Foxborough, the New England Patriots have won the toss. They will receive, and Mike Hollis, the second-year man from Idaho, getting set to kick it off to the combination of Dave Meggett and Troy Brown. The New England Patriots, who last week called the game against Arizona, at least Bill Parcells did. He said it is a must-win situation. Drew Bledsoe went out, threw for 3 touchdowns, 2 to running back Curtis Martin. The New England defense held the Cardinals to 170 total yards, while Jacksonville lost to the Oakland Raiders last week in Oakland 17-3. And this is Meggett. So Meggett running it across the 25-yard line. Looked like the ball was knocked free. And the Jaguars are saying that they did recover. And apparently they have.
Boy, when you leave that pile open like that long enough, you don't know what's going on underneath there. But the Jacksonville Jaguars came away with it. I didn't see who got the final grip. Bill Parcells, not the way he wanted to start.
All right, here's Meggett. And as he went down, the ball was stripped. Looked like Robert Massey got a piece of it, and Travis Davis with the recovery. So the Jaguars start out at the New England 27-yard line. The quarterback, Mark Brunelle, and the handoff to James Stewart. And he is stopped after picking up a yard on the play. Todd Collins playing for the injured Monty Brown, making the tackle. A look at that massive front line for Jacksonville with 6'7" Tony Baselli and 6'3", 313-pound Leon Searcy at the tackles. The quarterback Brunelle, the running back Stewart, and Maston, the receivers Risen, McCardell, and the tight end is Brown. Second down play. And again Stewart. And he's driven back the other way by Devin Wyman. Wyman is the 6'7" rookie from Kentucky State, only 21 years old. 6th-round draft pick. Jones and McGinnis are the defensive ends. Wheeler and Wyman inside. The linebackers Slade with Johnson and Collins. Todd Collins playing for Monty Brown, who left last week's game with a strained groin. Law and Reynolds at the corners, and Ray and Clay are deep in the secondary. It is a 3rd down and 7 at the New England 24-yard line. On the opening kickoff, Dave Meggett fumbled. An opportunity for the Jaguars. Here's Brunelle. Looked like it got tipped. That has been a problem for Mark Brunelle.
Actually, last week, They had the long touchdown that decided the game. Jerry Ball recovered a tip ball, much the same kind of a throw. His arm was hit as he let it go. Willie McGinnis coming up against Tony Baselli. He wins the battle that time, and just enough of the arm. You know, the quarterback has to have room to follow through. If he doesn't follow through, there's no pace on the ball. That time, of course, it didn't even come out of his hand.
And a 42-yard field goal attempt by Mike Hollis, who is 4 for 5 for the season. The angle to the right. High snap. And Hollis with the kick. No good.
You wonder, Marv, if the field is a factor already in this ball game.
Oh, you see, Bill Parcells with a pleasant punch to Dave Megan. Happy the fumble did not cost. Well, the New England Patriots will take over at their 33-yard line after the 42-yard field goal attempt. It went wide right off the foot of Hollis. And Bledsoe on first down completes to the fullback Sam Gash, lunging across the 40 where he's met by the middle linebacker Brian Schwartz. Now, Sam, we will see the compassionate side of Bill Parcells following this field goal.
Watch Megan and Bill Parcells. Now, that is a love tap right there.
Absolutely.
And you know what that is? That's a coach that's very familiar with this player. Obviously played for him in New York. And he's just saying to him, we got away with one. Now let's go out there and play some football.
It is a 2nd and 3 at the 40. No score, just underway with 2 minutes gone by. And the handoff to Curtis Martin. Short pickup, and that is shy of the first down. Clyde Simmons, starting at right defensive end, made the stop. A look at the offensive line of New England with Armstrong and Lane at the tackles, Roberts and Cratch at the guards. The center is Woolabaugh. Drew Bledsoe, the quarterback, Curtis Martin, Sam Gash. The running backs, the rookie Terry Glenn coming off an outstanding day last week against Arizona. Sean Jefferson is a product of Jacksonville, Florida. And now the Patriots with the double tight end alignment. John Burton joining Ben Coates for a 3rd down and 1. That's Coates in motion, and it's to the ground, and Martin slashes his way for a 1st down. Schwartz, the leading tackler on the Jaguars, combining with Dana Hall to make that stop. Up front, Kelvin Pritchard is back for the Jaguars. Sat out last week with a strained groin. Clyde Simmons playing for the injured Jeff Lageman. That is a key loss to Jacksonville. Hardy having an outstanding start, and this is rookie year, #1 draft pick out of Illinois. At the corners, Clark and Washington. Washington, a one-time Patriot, and Davis and Hudson are the deep man. A 1st down for New England from their 45. Bledsoe with the time. They went short range. Gash, and has a 1st down. Sam Gash goes 11, brought down by Yurkovich and Hardy.
But Drew Bledsoe sets up this time. He's looking for somebody else. The protection holds up, but nothing's happening downfield. This is a quarterback developing, though. He lays the ball off to a secondary receiver. The ball's not in the air, but about 8 or 9 yards, and let the ball carrier run, let the receiver run with it. 2 catches for Sam Gash already. Wouldn't think he'd be the leading receiver in the game, and won't be when it's over. But smart football, another step as we watch Drew Bledsoe develop as a quarterback.
I know you were impressed with the fact that he was able to diversify the attack last week against the Cardinals, but this certainly a step up in the opposition, and a nice sideline pattern for his favorite receiver, Ben Coates. And that is good for a 14-yard advance.
Yeah, he threw to 6 different receivers last week. Coates has been his favorite, but watch right here as he makes a little token fake. Pressure from the backside. Travis doesn't quite get there. Coates is just going to go up and run what's called a corner pattern. He's just going to break to the outside. The ball is usually thrown in a lofting fashion that way because he's got to clear all the linebackers to get the ball that far down the field.
And Bledsoe is connected on his first 3 passes for 33 yards. It is back to the ground, and on a slant, Martin. Good second effort by Curtis Martin, the rookie of the year last season. Has the numbers to this point this year, but has not come up with the big plays, according to the Patriot coaching staff.
Well, you know, they have not had a lot of big plays this year, and neither in the running game or the passing game. But this is a kid that was Rookie of the Year last year, the only Pro Bowl player as a rookie a year ago. And they're expecting those big plays to come from him.
All right, Coates is now flanked to the left with the rookie Glenn in the slot. Bledsoe, a shovel as he was going down, but let's see how they call it. Clyde Simmons was all over Drew Bledsoe, and it will be recorded as a sack.
It's a sack right there. The official reached down as if he was going to throw a flag for an intentional grounding, but he ruled in the grasp and therefore gave the sack to Clyde Simmons this time.
Tom Coughlin was telling us last night that he had a chat with the veteran Clyde Simmons and said, you've got to step it up. They're just not getting the kind of pressure that they would like. Now Meggett in the backfield. It's a 3rd and 17 at the Jacksonville 37, and Bledsoe did not like what he saw. Takes a timeout. 9:14 left in this opening quarter. It's the Patriots and Jaguars. No score.
If you've got a family, this Escort's for you. Why, just think of the things a wagon can do. It can carry your gear and all of your crew. But best of all, you're ready to haul the occasional item that's 6 feet tall. You can move the troops safely, even wiggle worms.
That's good.
And you can move them all easily with what's under the hood. So if you're looking for room, there's no need to fudge it. With Escort, you'll find there's still room in your budget. $12,865. That's all. That does it.
Todd and Celia Unger began their voyage together nearly 40 years ago. Today, they embark on retirement as carefree as when they first set out. That's because for the past 20-some years, they've worked with a broker from Dean Witter.
Respect the power of a client's dream and help them achieve it.
At Dean Witter,
we measure success one investor at a time.
Hey, you're a guy, and guys want to be cool. Hang out with other guys who are cool. But even cool guys sweat. 40% more than women, in fact. So how you gonna stay cool? With something new. Speed Stick Gel. No other gel keeps you drier, so you always feel your coolest. It's unbeatable gel protection, and guys, no matter how cool they are, need all the protection they can get. New Speed Stick Gel. It's just for the guys. Amen.
This is the NFL on NBC.
This is a homecoming of sorts for head coach Tom Coughlin of Jacksonville, one-time head man at Boston College, turned it around at BC in his 3 years, and receivers coach with the Giants under Bill Parcells from 1988 through 1990. That is the 1990 squad, and that team won a Super Bowl when Bill Parcells and Dave Meggett saw a field goal go wide right. Penalty marker is down. Terry Glenn interfered with by the left corner, Vinnie Clark. Now, Vinnie Clark, like Terry Glenn, an alum of Ohio State. And we were talking with Clark last night, and we asked if they...
Defensive pass interference, number 27, automatic first down.
We asked Vinny if he knows Terry Glenn. He said he will know me after today's game, but Glenn got the edge right there.
There was the introduction. Here's the receiver, Terry Glenn, and here's Vinnie Clark coming down the field. This is just an admission by Vinnie Clark that he's beaten. He knows it's going to be a touchdown right there. He reaches out and grabs him. Nothing you can do but give him that much.
And it's a 19-yard penalty. Curtis Martin getting the call on first down. 6 minutes gone by in this first quarter. No score. Tom Coughlin's Jaguars missing a 42-yard field goal attempt early, not able to capitalize on that opening kickoff fumble by Dave Meggett. And the Patriots now driving, have a 2nd and 7 at the Jacksonville 15-yard line. 9th play of the drive for New England. Jefferson split to the top of your screen, out to the left side. 87 Coates in motion. Off the play fake. Well, it looked pretty, but a short pickup as Bledsoe is able to combine with Martin, met by Kevin Hardy.
Well, it was the same play they scored on a week ago against Arizona, and it's a little early in the game to be pulling out a play that Jacksonville practiced against all week long. The play involves a sweep that looks like it's going to the left, and then Curtis Martin slips out to the right, which is a little bit of a misdirection throw. But Jacksonville did their homework. You know that Tom Coughlin wasn't coming back to the Boston area without it.
It's a 3rd and 4. Now Meggett in the backfield. The screen for Meggett. Dave Meggett picking up the first down. Jurkovich holding him down from behind, and the New England Patriots have a 1st and goal from just outside the 5.
As you see the pass rush getting to the quarterback, you're expecting a screen to come sooner or later. This time it goes off to Meggett rather than going to Curtis Martin. Bill Parcells told us last night that he wants to get the ball in Meggett's hands 15, maybe 18 times this afternoon. That's one of them.
And now the handoff to Martin, bouncing off tacklers, and picks up short yardage. Brian Schwartz, the second-year man from Augustana in South Dakota, making the stop. Bledsoe 5 for 5 here at the start, 44 yards in all, and looks like John Jurkovich is shaken up. One-time Green Bay Packer, spent 4 years with Green Bay.
As we look at John Jurkovich right there, I don't think you're going to be getting any tips when Meggett comes in the game that they're going to be throwing the ball. Last week, Curtis Martin caught 2 touchdown passes, so there are no tendencies there when they substitute run or pass.
Reminder coming up next right here on NBC, the conclusion of the Solheim Cup. And after 2 days of competition, the Europeans lead the Americans by 2 points. The final day is coming up next right here on NBC. 6:53 remaining in this first quarter. Marv Alberts, Sam Wyche from Foxborough. Jaguars and Patriots are scoreless. It is a 2nd and goal down at the 5-yard line, on the 12th play of the drive is coming up. On the subject of Dave Meggett, Bill Parcells telling us that he feels that he's putting up his best numbers as a Patriot because he's a little quicker. He is able to pass up on the deserts these days, particularly in training camp. Parcells keeping a careful eye on Meggett. And Coates with the touchdown catch. A bullet thrown by Bledsoe. Coates with the reception in front of Clark, and the Patriots with a 6-0 lead.
Drew Bledsoe is throwing the ball to a lot of different people, but when it gets down to crunch time, you go to your favorite receiver, and that right now is Ben Coates. The New England Patriots are just 4 for 10 scoring inside the red zone. They march right down the first drive and get into the red zone and into the end zone as well.
And now Adam Vinatieri, who has certainly had his ups and downs for the extra point, and it is blocked.
Marv, I think that Mr. Vinatieri has got some explaining to do when he walks over to the sideline. It's going to be an interesting passage as he goes by Bill Parcells.
Well, Parcells was telling us that Vinatieri is in a week-to-week scenario, and that certainly does not help his cause.
The new Ford Taurus has people talking. Road and Track says the new V6 is a high-strung engine born to gallop. Chris Hayward said,
"I'm surprised. A car this comfortable has that much pickup."
Automobile Magazine named Taurus Design of the Year. And Ray Wells agrees.
The new shape is just fantastic. Ford finally got me.
The new Ford Taurus. Now with $1,500 cash back, Taurus starts at just $17,045. Hurry, offer ends soon.
This morning, strange things are happening all over the world. Shops are about to open empty. Parts suppliers are partless, and assembly workers have nothing to assemble. Is this any way to run a business? With FedEx it is. Every morning the world gets just what it wants, just when it needs it, without expensive warehousing. Gone today, here again tomorrow. Now that's the way the world works.
I helped my dad build this place. Well, help. I was so small I could barely swing the hammer. But he taught me a lot about tools. He used to say, you can buy cheap tools every couple of years. Or you can buy Stanley once.
Since 1843, A company from New Britain, Connecticut has been helping people do things right. Stanley.
I even take my tape roll fishing. Well, that way I'll know how big a story to tell.
Tonight, Steven Seagal is on Deadly Ground, the explosive network premiere that takes you to the top of the world on Deadly Ground, NBC Tonight.
Next Saturday, Big Ten power Ohio State invades South Bend when Ron Paulus and the undefeated Fighting Irish host the Buckeyes. Notre Dame football is home on NBC.
The rookie from South Dakota State, Adam Vinatieri, who just missed that extra point, actually blocked by Clyde Simmons. Last week missed an extra point, missed a 47-yard field goal, and then late in the game hit from 31, which probably was a confidence builder on the part of the coaching staff. Kendrick Bullard with the return, a first-year player from Arkansas State who last season spent time on the Patriot practice squad, takes it for 24 yards, and let's take a look back at that blocked extra point.
The snap is good. Tom Tupa's putting the ball down good. The field is a little rough. They played a soccer game here last night. Don't want to make an excuse because the ball is met with the foot too high on the ball. The ball didn't get any lift. And we know that Adam Vinatieri is walking on thin ice. In fact, last week when he attempted and made that 31-yard field goal at the end, it was not only a confidence builder, it was a death sentence if he'd missed it.
So the Jaguars starting out 1st and 10 from the 28. The deep drop by Brunelle cannot find anyone. And now does. In the open field out of the 45-yard line, Willie Jackson picking up 17 on that pass play. Chris Slade and Ted Johnson combined to make the stop.
Willie McGinnis told us yesterday that he is what is called a spy. In other words, he's a pass rusher, but his job is to look at Brunelle, and if he scrambles, it's his job to make sure he doesn't scramble for yardage. You see he's looking at him. He's not really trying to work his way up the field. He's working along the line. Be careful there at the end, Willie McGinnis. They'll call those personal fouls.
And a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Flag is thrown as James Stewart went flying. Mark Wheeler able to trip him up. Mark Wheeler, left defensive tackle, and a marker is down.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Brian DeMarco is called for the penalty. Larry Nemmers, the referee.
When the umpire throws that flag, it's almost always holding. I've been a proponent of putting that umpire on the offensive side of the ball. I think he's probably in the worst position to see those holding because he's avoiding all the traffic coming right at him. But the league so far hasn't gone with my suggestion.
Yes. 1st and 20 at the 35-yard line. 6-0 New England on top. And the out pattern for Andre Rison, making his first catch, covered by Ricky Reynolds. Talking about the field being in poor condition due to the soccer played here last night. I know your favorite team in the Major League Soccer League, the New England Revolution, concluded matters last night. They have 38,000 here in Foxborough. The Columbus Crew beating the Revolution 1-0.
They're always a tough opponent.
Yes. And I know you have been studying this very carefully. The Revolution is owned by New England Patriots owner Bob Kraft. So it is fully under the control of the Patriots, and if they have any problems with the field, see the president of the club. And Brunelle able to hang in despite the pressure and completes to the tight end, Rich Griffith, who was met by the left corner, Ty Law.
Brunelle is just a little bit busy with his feet right here. Watch him set up his head. Good carry of the ball, head nice down the field, a little anxious. The pressure's really not gotten to him. He moved out of the way a couple of plays ago and bought enough time to complete the ball down the field. But I think he feels the pressure, not so much the hit as the tip ball. It's got to be in the back of his mind. Already happened once today.
It is a 3rd down and 6 at midfield. 4 minutes to go. First quarter, Patriots 6, Jaguars 0. And Brunelle picked off. Intercepted by Jimmy Hitchcock. Another interception thrown by Martin Brunelle. That is his 7th of the season. That matches his total of all last year. That pass intended for Andre Rison.
Andre Rison is just making an inside move, and the ball is thrown behind him. This is not a poor pattern. It's not really great coverage. It's just a badly thrown ball right into the arms of Jimmy Hitchcock. And we saw briefly there Tom Coughlin on the sideline, and he is showing his frustration because they're making, they're making so many mistakes that are unforced errors right now. And basically they're beating themselves a lot in the last couple of weeks.
First NFL interception for the second-year man from North Carolina, Jimmy Hitchcock. See the flags flying, the movement leading to the penalty markers.
Encroachment, defense number 92. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, number 92, Don Davey, who started last week for the injured Kelvin Pritchett. There is Mark Brunelle. In his first year as a full-time starter last season, took over the final 11 games when Steve Berline was sidelined by injury. Did a solid job, had a terrific opening game against the Steelers, but it has not been the same since then. It's a 1st and 5. And Bledsoe, short range to the flat with Curtis Martin breaking tackles for the first down. Stopped by the strong safety, Travis Davis.
Not only is Drew Bledsoe throwing the ball to different receivers, the designs of the play are calling for those receivers to get the ball. Watch him roll. He's going to fake to Curtis Martin, roll to the right, head and eyes looking to the right. You can see the defense even pulled that way, and then the ball thrown back to Curtis Martin. He was a primary receiver on that one, not an alternate receiver. The designs of the play are helping Drew Bledsoe now become a more complete quarterback.
And Bledsoe 7 for 7. 57 yards, including a touchdown. A flag is thrown. The play is whistled dead.
This is going to go against Benny Clark again. He's already had one big mistake.
Encroachment on the defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And 27 is the left corner, Benny Clark, another former Packer, first-round pick of Green Bay back in 1991.
Bottom of your screen right here, you're going to see Benny Clark just flinch. Nothing moves but him. Cannot make contact with the offense before the snap of the ball.
And 4th penalty assessed on Jacksonville for 39 yards. Again, a 1st and 5. Martin on a sweep following gash and could not find the extra running room. Curtis Martin hit down by the right corner, Mickey Washington, and strong side linebacker Kevin Hardy.
Good job by Jacksonville just stretching the defensive line of scrimmage. Sometimes you don't really get penetration up into the backfield there. You just make them run sideways long enough for the rest of the defensive helpers to come in there and clean up the play.
So the Patriots have a 2nd and 5 at the 20 after struggling inside the red zone in Buffalo a couple of weeks back. New England converting points on all 5 possessions against Arizona in the red zone last week. Bledsoe able to dump it off. Oh, nice move by the rookie, Terry Glenn. Run out by Clark. It's good for 15 and a 1st and goal for New England. Terry Glenn, who's still bothered by that pulled hamstring, missed 5 weeks going back to training camp, but has really blossomed the last couple of weeks.
You can watch him come in motion. He's just going to come right back across the field right here. Terry Glenn is one of the primary receivers. This is a deep and short route. In other words, you've got somebody running deep down the field and Terry Glenn coming underneath. He throws to the open man.
All right, Bledsoe couldn't find anyone in the end zone and then throws it away.
The new rule came into play right there, Marv. No duress, but why run out of bounds and lose yardage? Just throw the ball away. Don't worry about your statistics and help your team out. Bill Parcells has to be happy with some of the subtle things that Drew Bledsoe is doing here in the first quarter.
That was the first incompletion, 8 of 9, 72 yards. He faced the pressure from the left defensive end, Joel Smengi, and it sets it a 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line. Armstrong and Lane at the tackles, Roberts and Cratch the guards, Willoughby the center. That's Glenn, 88, in motion. Bledsoe for the end zone, but Glenn could not detach himself. He was tied up And Bledsoe upset. He was looking for an interference call.
Well, interference is called if the initial action is taken by the defender. If they just run into each other, the defender has as much right to his real estate as the wide receiver does. It becomes a judgment call, and that would have involved Vinnie Clark one more time. You see, coming in motion, he's going to go up into the corner, and here's Vinnie Clark. Let's see who initiates the contact. He's up. New England has a complaint. Vinnie Clark reached right out there. He wasn't in route anywhere else.
It's a third down, 3rd and goal at the 5. Off the back pedal, that was almost picked off. Good pressure by Pritchett, and Eddie Robinson would have had a free route to 6 points, as Bledsoe, I think, if he could do that one over again, would take it back.
Absolutely. You can see the feelings of Bill Parcells on the sideline. They only had 4 touchdowns and 10 tries coming into this ball game in the red zone. Only Cincinnati and Buffalo were worst at that effort. They marched down and scored the last time. And now Adam Vinatieri has his chance.
The Adam Vinatieri adventure continues. This from 23 yards away. And he's able to hit. A sardonic greeting from the crowd. How that one?
AT&T presents A World Without Limits. What team has a chokehold on league scoring honors? Stay tuned.
No matter what size fax you send, no matter where in the world you send it, AT&T guarantees it'll get there. Because now AT&T has 70% more international routes, which means more ways to get around trouble and more ways to steer clear of danger. So your international fax gets through. No matter where in the world you send it. Guaranteed network reliability at a competitive price, only from AT&T for the life of your business.
Since 1992, the San Francisco 49ers have been a point-scoring machine. In that time, the team that perfected the West Coast offense has averaged more than 29 points per game and led the league in scoring every year. 4 consecutive years at the top of the charts, a lofty new NFL standard.
This is Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty. It's made for the smart, the intelligence thrifty. It's new out and in, has airbags for 2. Even anti-lock brakes are available. Ooh, the trunk, it is huge to hold tremendous treasure. And if your treasure is of stupendous measure, the rear seat folds down to let bigger things in, still leaving room for your next of kin's kin. It has all the whatsits and gidgets, to put it concisely, and Escort's right price should suit you quite nicely.
NBC tonight. The battle to conquer Earth comes to a head.
The big giant head.
Good Dick is trapped in the basement.
There's an invisible box.
While Evil Dick's upstairs getting acquainted.
Next time it won't be so nice.
How about a romantic dessert? And Dennis Rodman, the 1-hour Third Rock premiere, NBC tonight.
1 minute, 17 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the New England Patriots now leading the Jacksonville Jaguars, the mistake-prone Jaguars, here in the first quarter. 9-0. Here is Vinatieri kicking to Jordan and Bullard. And a short kick played by Kendrick Bullard. Out across the 20. Nice move. And works to the 32-yard line. Brought down by Corwin Brown. A 25-yard return. And just a moment ago, Vinnie Clark on the phone. And I gather it may not be a pleasant conversation.
Probably is not. And if I were upstairs, I'd be telling him, look, Vinny, it looks like they're coming after you, pal. They're going to your side. And you could have been called for interference in the end zone. Really should have been called on the last series. Just a little warning to be smarter on the field.
Looks like they're coming after you, pal.
The old coming after you, pal comment.
A 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line off the play fake. Brunelle, and it's dropped. Dropped by the fullback, Lachey Maston, who was covered by Todd Collins.
And here you see Willie McGinnis, whose job it is to be the spy. I think we heard that from another player that had mentioned their game plan a little bit to us yesterday. And this is a common practice when you've got a quarterback that is mobile like Brunelle. You always have somebody assigned to make sure that he's the last line of defense against the run. This was a bootleg. McGinnis to that side. It was his job all the way.
A 2nd and 10 at the 32-yard line. 1 minute left in this first quarter. The draw does not work. James Stewart was not able to accelerate, and you have to wonder the effect of the field. Looked like Stewart could not get any tracking at all.
You know what happens when you've got a bad field? It actually works to the advantage of the passing game because the defense can't get any purchase to rush. It works against the running game because the offensive line can't get any purchase to knock somebody out of the way. The runners don't have the advantage of being able to plant sharply.
And the Jaguars, who had problems running last week, thus far today, 3 rushes, 0 yards. Not able to get going on the ground. Brunelle to throw. And completes. Keenan McCardell stopped by Ty Law. Short of the first down as this first quarter rolls down. Incidentally, that is a new pronunciation. Look out. And words now with Terry Ray involved. And
Ty Law also involved in that one. Going against Dave Waddell. I don't believe I'd want to go against Dave Waddell to begin with. There's your first mistake. And you don't want to get a penalty because Waddell was facing away. You could go after somebody. The officials always seem to see the second guy, and I bet you that is what Bill Parcells is saying right now.
Dave Waddell, a local product, played his college ball at Boston College. That's the end of the first quarter.
Lead car. Take it slow. Everybody okay? Wait a minute. What's he doing? He wants more. Right there. Over there.
Diet Dr. Pepper, the taste you've been looking for. Why do I rent from Enterprise? Very simple. No stress. They arrange to pick me up free, so I don't have to ask anyone for a ride. See? No stress.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
You've been thinking about getting a digital satellite dish. And thinking some more. Well, think about this. The people at Radio Shack can answer your questions. Plus, now they've got great deals. Like a Prime Star satellite system for only about $1 a day plus installation. 95 channels of Prime sports and movies with terrific picture and sound quality. Think about it. Better yet, stop thinking about it. Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing to worry about coming from your tailpipe, because with every stroke of your engine, motor oil is being vaporized into exhaust, leaving less and less protection. That's why there's Castrol GTX 10W30. Of every leading 10W30, Castrol provides the most protection against volatility burn-off. So use Castrol, or watch more of your protection go up in smoke. Castrol GTX, the most protection against volatility burn-off.
On to the second quarter in Foxborough. Marv Albert with Sam Wyche, 9-0 New England. First punt of the day, Brian Barker. With a high snap, able to save it. And line drives it in the direction of Dave Beckett, and he will let it bounce. And took a Jaguar hop inside the 20, but a flag is thrown at midfield. A 44-yard punt by Barker.
The high snap from the center. Threw the timing off. Got somebody downfield a little early. Going to have to make a decision on the New England side. Do they want to take another punt, or they want to take it right there on the 23, 22.5-yard line? You can look at, as you watch both these coaches, Bill Parcells working his players all the time. Friday at practice, we watched him make comments during practice to try to...
Ineligible downfield on the kicking team, number 41. 5-yard penalty. Will re-kick.
Well, that was Dave.
He was working the players during practice on the punt. Understands the words we might not understand if we were hearing them spoken. The verb might not fit the noun, but Dave Beckett's been around him long enough. Reading that body language right there again. And they're going to have to punt it again, and Dave Beckett probably got another quick lecture from the sideline.
All right, here's Barker in his 7th year out of Santa Clara, punted 7 times last week. down to that football, just tugging it to his chest. Taken down by Dana Hall. A 9-yard return by Megan. Let's follow Dave as he makes his way to
your friend Bill Parcells on the sideline. He had 3 big returns last week against Arizona. Bill is now going to play the game. I'm going to go over here and look at my sideline sheet. Got a little note to myself. Pick up some milk on the way home. And a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. So the Patriots with a 9-0 lead as the second quarter gets underway. Drew Bledsoe off to an excellent start. 8 of 11, 72 yards. Here's Bledsoe.
Couldn't find anyone and was pursued by Hardy and had to run it out of bounds. A dismal opening quarter for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Only 1 first down, 0 rushing yards. New England with only 11, but they've done it with the passing game.
Tom Coughlin told us that he's just frustrated because nobody seems to be making the play. You know, you design a lot of football plays, good defenses, good solid game plan, practice hard all week. Then the game starts. You've got to go out and make plays. It comes right down to good football players doing it on Sunday.
2nd down and 10. And Bledsoe to the other side again. Sam Gash. So the fullback Sam Gash with his 3rd reception, met by Kevin Hardy, but just a short pickup. The ball is spotted at the 48-yard line. Now Meggett is back in. Talking about the troubles of Jacksonville. Is it get any worse than last week? They lose a tough game to the Raiders, and after the game, due to a water main break, there was no water in the showers. I hate Oakland Coliseum. Sam, I'd have to say that was the final insult.
Yeah, but there's no problem. They have what they call shower pills. The guys know what they are.
Lots of cologne, I'm told. 3rd down and 4, and Bledsoe is taken down in the grasp. Taken down by Clyde Simmons. So Clyde Simmons, at 32 years of age, the oldest player on the Jacksonville roster, starting for the injured Jeff Lageman, comes up with the sack. 3rd sack of the day for Jacksonville and the 2nd for Simmons.
And referee Larry Nemmers has been pretty good to Bledsoe now twice. Simmons has had him in the grasp. Could have been called a intentional grounding to save the sack, but he gave him the sack, which the result's the same. They're going to come up with a 4th and long.
And Tom Tupa back inside his 20-yard line, punting for the first time of the day. Chris Hudson, who's averaging 16 yards per punt return among the leaders in the AFC, is back for it. Here comes Hudson. Very casual fashion, looking for the opening. And post it up. Hudson. Fumble. Recovers. Meggett, who fumbled away the opening kickoff, comes up with that loose ball, and another Jaguar mistake, unless the whistle was blown. A 45-yard punt and a 17-yard return, and apparently there is a question as to whether the Patriots came up with a fumble. And the ruling is that that Hudson was down, so the Jaguars will maintain possession.
There is no instant replay, so all you can do is plead your case.
And apparently, a change of heart.
Oh. Bill Parcells.
There was a fumble on the play, recovered by the kicking team. 1st down.
In that case, is Bill the plaintiff or the defendant, would you say? I know he's been awarded the victory, though.
Well, another look at it.
The ball is out. That's clearly a fumble. Now it's who recovers the ball. And I don't think there's any question about that. Dave Meggett has the fumble recovery.
Although the officials did talk it over, you could see the reaction from Parcells. At first, it appeared that they had ruled that Hudson was down, and then they made the change. So Meggett with the recovery and a 1st down for the Patriots at the 37 in Jacksonville territory. No room for Martin. Benny Clark on the stop. And we are told that there are some audio difficulties. We apologize. Sam is downstairs working on it.
Thank you. Can you hear me from down here? You know, you're watching the running game, and I'll mention it one more time. When the field is not in good shape, the running game is not your strong suit because you can't get a purchase to block people, but you defensively can't get much of a purchase to pass rush either, so throwing the ball is a little better. 2nd and 12. Beckett. He picked his spot and able to run inside the 35-yard line. Dave Beckett spent 6 years with the Giants. This is the 2nd season with New England. 4 expected last year. One of the best all-purpose players in the NFL. But as we touched on earlier, Bill Parcells feels that Beckett, who has shed some weight, is quicker. And this is the best that he has played. He likes him quicker. He likes him being as versatile as he was when he was playing for him in New York. 3rd down and 6. Oh, beautiful pass rifled through by Bledsoe, able to find Sean Jefferson, who returned last week after missing the previous game due to a concussion. Sean Jefferson, a native of Jacksonville. Jefferson right up here at the top of your screen. This is what Drew Bledsoe can do. He's a big, strong-arm quarterback. Off his back foot, really, when he lets that ball go right between the
linebackers that are dropping into the zone. And a first down at the 20-yard line. Here's Beckett. Going to break a tackle. Runs it to the 16. The strong safety, Travis Davis, able to come up with the stop. Vincent Brisby continues to sit it out for the Patriots with a pulled hamstring. Missed the first 4 weeks. The bye week coming up next week will certainly help Brisby. But meanwhile, opportunities for Jefferson and Graham, along with Glenn and Dietrich Jones, who is a rookie out of Pittsburgh.
Actually, Jefferson is the 6th receiver to catch the ball again this week. 6 different receivers.
2nd down and 6. Looked to be a mix-up. Was that a play fake? Beckett on the reception. Stopped by Vinnie Clark. Well, what's going on? Last week, Ray Perkins, the offensive coordinator, with all kinds of wrinkles in the game plan. 4 attempts to connect 4th down situations, a flea flicker, a halfback pass, an end around, 2-point conversion. And Sam, would you describe that play?
Just simply the misdirection. This time, Meggett is coming from his left, slipping out to the right with the flow going back to the left. They ran that play twice, scored 2 touchdowns on it a week ago with Curtis Martin.
And it is Vinnie Clark who is down.
Bought the business from Jimmy's father. That's why he pushes himself. He doesn't want to disappoint the old man. His back began giving him grief last month. He'd take Advil, plug along, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. So his doctor said to try a leave. Take it every 8 to 12 hours.
Oh, I like that.
Winds up at the end of the day, a leave is stronger relief than a dose of Advil. A leave was all it took. This year, he may even take a day off.
You take enough for both of us.
Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
Australia's Great Barrier Reef. You don't need fins to swim under it. You don't need wings to fly over it. You don't need 4 legs to run through it. But you just might need to bring this. Because Reef Watch Air Tours, Wild Track Jeep Safaris, and Pro Sail Schooners will take you on the ride of your life. But they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Jeep, makers of the new award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokee. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Warner Brothers' The Glimmer Man opens Friday, October 4th at a theater near you.
It was Jacksonville left corner Vinnie Clark shaken up, replaced now by Dave Thomas. A 3rd and 2 at the 12. Off the roll, Bledsoe throwing for the end zone. And incomplete.
Bledsoe's pass.
Terry Glenn, the intended receiver, being covered by the one-time Patriot Mickey Washington. And It is the field goal unit checking in. Adam Vinatieri.
And Bill Parcells' propensity to go for it on 4th down, even with a field goal kicker that's having trouble, and Adam Vinatieri certainly is. He's going to go with the field goal to tip right here. Now, Tom Tupa, remember, is a quarterback and a punter, is the holder.
23-yard field goal for Vinatieri earlier. This is from 30 yards away, and he line drives it right through. So after the early problem, having that extra point block, Vinatieri has hit on 2 field goals to extend the Patriot lead.
You, and you. And the Raiders face the Bears, or the Chiefs clash with the Chargers, or regional action next Sunday on the NFL on NBC.
Mark Brunelle has to be dealing with the mental part of this ball game right now. Adam Vinatieri has handled an early mistake, come back, made 2 field goals. Mark Brunelle had the tip ball and has thrown the interception. This is his time now to regroup, come back in there, and as Tom Coughlin said, step up to the plate and make a play. First 3 possessions, the Jacksonville Jaguars really haven't got it done, and they won't win ball games that way. Tom Coughlin now is just trying to get everything back together.
All right, Bullard and Jordan are the deep men, and it's taken by Bullard. Kendrick Bullard. Oh, he's hit down as he tried to reach out to the 15. Excellent coverage by Troy Brown, able to make the tackle. Well, Third Rock from the Sun premieres tonight with Chicago Bulls star Dennis Rodman.
Look at you, the hair, the tattoos, like you could be human. Yeah. Listen, Dennis, I gotta ask you. Madonna, where's she from?
Detroit.
Detroit Earth? Get out.
She's here.
Oh, what about Michael Jordan?
Robot.
Well, Sam, I believe Shakespeare in the Park is next for Dennis Rodman.
Not till we get the chance to see that one.
1 hour season premiere, Third Rock from the Sun, tonight at 8/7 Central on NBC. Brunelle starting out, and that is incomplete. Going sideline to the tight end, Derek Brown. It'll bring up a 2nd and 10 at the 14. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel at our New York studio.
All right, Marv, and at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, the Chiefs fell behind early, but come back. Steve Bono 8 yards to Danon Hughes with the extra point. The Chiefs now lead the Denver Broncos 10-7. That's the 2nd quarter score, Marv.
Thank you, Greg. 9.5 remaining in this first half here in Foxborough. 12-0 Patriots in front of the Jaguars. Draw play for nothing. James Stewart is stopped by Willie McGinnis, and the Jaguars not able to do a thing on the ground. 4th rush, 0 yards.
Willie McGinnis taking charge of this defense right now, and Tom Coughlin is searching for something just to break the ice here a little bit. He understands that his quarterback is a little bit shaky. Things aren't going right, hoping that James Stewart maybe can break it. Not happening, even with the biggest offensive line in football in front of him.
It is a 3rd down and 10. 87 McCardell in motion. Brunelle facing the pressure and throws it away. Patriots getting off the ball very crisply.
You know, they're anticipating a snap count is one little extra thing that's going right for New England and going wrong for Jacksonville. Coaches upstairs hopefully pick up for that from the Jacksonville standpoint, and will remind him, you got to mix this thing up a little bit. They had a running start, and there was no chance. They didn't have enough blockers to begin with. They had to throw the ball hot in that situation.
So for Jacksonville, 4 possessions, only 1 first down picked up. And Brian Barker back to punt from his goal line. Dave Meggett is at the 45-yard line in Patriot territory. Meggett with the return. Oh, finds the opening. Picks up blockers and moves down to the 36-yard line. A 40-yard punt, 19-yard return, and LaShawn Maston with the stop on Meggett, who has certainly picked it up after that opening kickoff.
This is it. Power Ohio State invades South Bend when Ron Paulus and the undefeated Fighting Irish host the Buckeyes. Notre Dame football is home on NBC.
While we're away, Paul Wiedner, the head linesman, is talking to Tom Coughlin, who I'm sure thought that Willie McGinnis got an early jump on that last play. Watch right here, and as we approach 2 o'clock, the end of summer, Willie McGinnis sure does get a good start on autumn. and also on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sam, not your normal color commentator, noting the change of the seasons as the game progresses, and a flag is thrown. As
I do that only as a public service announcement.
Offense, number 84 prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The offside on Sean Jefferson. Sam seen earlier today reading the Farmer's Almanac.
Oh, I can't get away with anything. I'm going to watch very carefully everything you do and try to mimic it, okay?
That will not be difficult. It is a 1st and 15 at the 41-yard line. 8:40 remaining in the first half. It's New England 12, Jacksonville nothing. Marv Albert, Sam Wyche. You see the jump this time, Tony Brockins, and it's completed to Curtis Martin.
That's a defensive penalty. New England is going to get their option. They're going to take the play. Almost a first down on 1st and 15. This is much. I will talk about it right after Larry Nemmers gives us the
defense. Offside. Number 94. Penalty is refused. 2nd down.
Well, it is Kelvin Pritchett who's called for the. Now they're correcting it. It was Tony Brockins. As I said,
you are absolutely correct. I wish I had a dime for every time I told the players to continue the play if there's an offside. Actually, I wish I had $1 million. I may as well make a lot of money, right? But that's something you always do. Carry the play out.
And on 2nd and 1, Curtis Martin gunning for the first down, wrapped up by Pritchett. And let's see where they spot the ball. Get an official timeout with 8:17 left. In this first half, a 12-0 New England lead. Bledsoe on a 5-yard touchdown pass to Coates. 12 plays, 67 yards, 6-0 lead. Vinatieri missing the extra point. And then field goals by Vinatieri from 23 and from 30 yards away. And they are just short of the first down. Well, you can experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League for all the tackles and touchdowns and a live game day scoreboard. NFL.com. It is a 3rd and inches at the Jacksonville 27-yard line. Drew Bledsoe off to the good start. They have done it in the air in this first half. 11 of 15, 93 yards, including a touchdown.
Let's see if we climb in the head of Bill Parcells. He's got Bruce Armstrong at left tackle. He's got Clyde Simmons going against him. Does he run left? Quarterback sneak is the other option that you've got.
You know, Sam, I figured if we give you enough time, you'd hit on all possibilities.
Absolutely. Well, if you talk long enough, you can watch it take place. If you come right back and say, that's what I did.
And they did pick up the first down. Well, Mark Brunelle has struggled in the first half. 4 of 9, 40 yards, intercepted once. Bledsoe 11 of 15. When Mark Brunelle was a freshman at the University of Washington, he hosted a high school prospect by the name of Drew Bledsoe on a recruiting trip to the school, but Drew ended up attending cross-state rival Washington State. They met 3 times in college. Brunelle winning 2 of the 3 by big scores, incidentally, 55-10 and 56-21. The first time they've met in the NFL taking place right here. This is the first time they have met. And Clyde Simmons of the Jaguars is down and hurting. Clyde Simmons with 2 sacks in this first half.
Clyde Simmons is already replacing the injured Jeff Lagerman in this ball game, and he has played played better really than anybody else on that defensive side of the ball. They're going to miss him if he's out.
Lagerman suffered a sprained left knee last week. He will probably be out 2 more games. We were talking with Mark Brunelle about that recruiting visit of Drew Bledsoe, and you got the idea it wasn't memorable for Brunelle. Well, this renewing a Pac-10 college rivalry as Brunelle led his Huskies to consecutive victories over the Cougars, but on the final game of Bledsoe's collegiate career, the outcome different in blizzard conditions. Bledsoe passing for 260 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead his club to a victory over the then 5th-ranked Huskies. 42-23, the final score of that final meeting between the two. I say not a memorable visit because I think Bledsoe had his mind made up. He was not going to the University of Washington. Sean Jefferson stopped by Dave Thomas. Second catch for Jefferson, and Clyde Simmons was able to walk off without any help. Second down and 4 at the 19-yard line. Down to 7 minutes to go in this second quarter. Terry Glenn is to the right, but again it's to the ground in a big hole. Curtis Martin galloping his way and has the first down. Hardy and Davis combined to make the stop.
And New England caught Jacksonville in a hard up-the-field pass rush kind of defense and just split them right down the middle. Another Jacksonville player down.
Well, earlier was Vinnie Clark, Clyde Simmons a moment ago, and another injury. We'll be back to check it out in a moment.
Dr. Pepper presents
Holy smokes, what a play!
just what the doctor ordered. Mile High Magic used to mean soaring spirals, but a new prescription has given the Broncos a new dimension: defense. With an infusion of youth and motivation, the Broncos defense has already staged a 9-sack rampage on opening day and has helped put the D back in Denver. The Broncos' aggressive new defense, exactly what Denver needed.
Beefy comedy.
What do the different hearts mean?
That's how many heart attacks they attribute to the particular day.
He'll make you smile.
But that's your fake smile. No, it is not. And that's your high voice. It's not!
He'll make you laugh. Unless you've been hit by lightning or something. Jeff Foxworthy premieres Monday at 8/7 Central on NBC.
Well, the injuries continue for Jacksonville. Brian Schwartz, their leading tackler, had 16 last week against the Raiders, joining that injury list, replaced by Tom McManus. And as we resume, Sam Gash with his 4th catch of the day for just short yardage. Davis and Thomas combined to make the stop, but Sam Gash has been a primary receiver. Look at this, 11 first downs for the Patriots, just 1 for the Jaguars.
It's a different team than we saw on opening day when they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Reminiscent of that day, too. If you remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers had all their players going down with injuries. Today, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars getting a lot of them.
Second down and 7. Tom McManus out of Boston College, second-year player, has come on for Brian Schwartz. They go to the draw. Curtis Martin broke a tackle, able to work his way to the 8-yard line, and Tony Brackens with the stop. We're just under 6 minutes to go now in this second quarter. Penalty marker is down, and a very frustrated head coach Tom Coughlin.
Number 64 defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, that is called on John Yurkovich, the right defensive tackle.
And the frustration continues when certain parts of your game start to fall down. The other parts sometimes overcompensate, try to overcompensate, and you get those. You get right here is Yurkovich. Watch him coming up. The hand is in the chest right there, and then it just slides up. Really, if it...
Half the distance from the end of the run.
As Larry Nemers explained it right there, it's half the distance to the goal line. However, the hand can go to the face. If it's pulled away quickly, they don't call that because they understand there's a lot of hand action and a lot of jostling going on. But when you leave it in there and continue to push and that head rocks back, they're going to call it every time.
And it sets it to a 1st and goal down at the 4-yard line. Patriots running for another score. The handoff to Martin, going wide, and he is in for the touchdown. And for the New England Patriots, this one taking on the look of last week against the Arizona Cardinals, as they now extend the lead. A 4-yard touchdown run by Martin.
It's interesting to listen to the crowd. When they ran a draw a minute ago, there was a lot of grumbling. What a bad play. Didn't gain any yards. This one scores a touchdown. A tremendous call in the view of the fans.
And here is Vinatieri, and he is able to pop it through.
Actually, PATs don't get that much applause around the league. They do here.
So it is now a 19-0 New England lead over Jacksonville.
Sweep is to the left. Hardy has contained and is just not able to keep everybody in place right there. That's pure speed, really bouncing outside. That play was designed to go up inside and bounce outside because of the hole. Watch everything get clogged up inside right here, and the ball is just going to bounce right outside after he baits everyone in. Everybody committed inside, and then he bounces outside. It is pure speed from that point on.
8 plays, 36 yards as the Patriots take advantage of the fumble. 4th touchdown of the season for Martin. He had a career-high 3 last week against Arizona. Now, the last 6 quarters, you go back to last week's 31-0 win over the Cardinals, New England has outscored the opposition 50-0.
And those woes continue for Jacksonville. Right here, they're catching a team that is getting hot in the New England Patriots. 31-0 last week, and they're picking up right where they left off. Other than the missed extra point, pretty good ball game for New England.
All right, here's Randy Jordan, who has speed. And flags come flying as Jordan moves across the 25-yard line. It's a 23-yard return by Jordan, who's back after sitting out last week with a pulled hamstring. Leads the AFC in kick return average. Dave Thomas trying to help Larry Nemmers with his interpretation.
Illegal block in the back, above the waist. On number 59 to the receiving team, that penalty is refused. We have a holding penalty on number 40.
Whoa.
That penalty will be accepted.
Gets worse and worse.
It gets worse. The reason they accept the penalty, the holding penalty, is it occurred farther back downfield because the distance, the penalty is going to be marked off from the point of the foul on a kickoff return. So they took the one that gives it the most yardage and the disadvantage yardage for the New England or for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
7th penalty against Jacksonville. New England hit with only 1. And a 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Oh, the pressure, and Brunelle lost it.
And that was going to be ruled a fumble, not an incomplete pass. Even though his arm is moving forward, in the opinion of referee Larry Nemmers, he was not in the passing motion. Completely unblocked. Yeah, that is not a pass. He tried to pull that one down, and he couldn't get it down in time. Devin Wyman, 307 pounds coming right at you. You kind of pull him down there.
He was the surprise of the preseason. Made a very strong impression and made a strong impression on Mark Brunelle. It's a 2nd and 21 back at the 5-yard line. 4.5 remaining in this first half, trying to get out of a hole. James Stewart actually picks up some yardage. So Stewart, the ball carrier. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Marv, a guy who came out of the college ranks and into the pros the same time Curtis Martin did, and that's Terrell Davis, the NFL's leading rusher. This is a 65-yard touchdown jaunt, and it puts the Denver Broncos back on top of Kansas City. 14-10, 3.5 to play in the first half, Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. That run by Stewart, good for 5 yards. And it's the first 5 yards on the ground that the Jaguars have managed. 3rd down and 16. Well, he tried to set up a screen and succeeded with Jimmy Smith. The one-time Dallas Cowboy taken down by Larry Wiggum, well short of a first down, and a punting situation for the Jaguars as Brian Barker checks back in. And a word on a couple of the Jaguar injuries. Clyde Simmons with a knee problem. It is expected he will return. Brian Schwartz also a knee problem and will need x-rays. Meggett let it bounce. And a short punt by Barker. 3:10 left in this first half. Patriots 19-0 over Jacksonville. 4-yarder, and a penalty was called on the Jaguars, declined by the Patriots. Now they accept it.
5-yard penalty, re-kick.
All right, so now they accept it. It is instead.
That's almost in your face right there. What they're saying is, I want Meggett getting that ball under his arm one more time for a long return. That was a very short kick. Good field position, and they're going to accept that penalty. Don't understand that one. Marv, we talked to Mark Brunelle yesterday, and I asked him, do you feel like you're playing on an expansion team? And he said he really did not. The ball club had veterans on it, didn't feel that way, but they're playing like an expansion team today.
He may reassess that evaluation. Yeah, you asked him the question, and he said, well, we're not at a point where we feel we have to take our lumps. We're beyond that. We don't have to take our lumps, but they have been here in the first half.
Here's where maybe a history of a team, if you had a history, you'd start to lean on it a little bit. Jacksonville doesn't have that, and their frustration just compounds itself.
All right, Meggett with the return. That's what they wanted. Yes, able to accelerate, puts a move on inside the 30, inside the 20, and down he goes, inside the 15-yard line.
What a brilliant call by Bill Parcells, declining that penalty, or accepting the penalty, making a punt again.
A 39-yard punt and a 39-yard return by Meggett, who had an excellent day last week punt returning against the Arizona Cardinals. Dana Hall, the last man back, was able to make the tackle.
You know, we were confused of why they would accept the penalty. That's the reason right there. Last week, Dave Meggett had a 36, 27, 17-yard return. They wanted him to have a chance to do it one more time. We just saw it.
So New England first down inside the 15-yard line with 2:55 remaining in this first half. And a big hole for Curtis Martin.
The ball carrier.
And a linebacker, Tom McManus, with the stop. Tom McManus played for Tom Coughlin at Boston College. Excited about coming back here to play against the Patriots in Foxborough. Well, Clyde Simmons is back, went down with a knee earlier, has 2 sacks in this first half. Signed as a free agent just prior to the start of the season. One-time Eagle and Cardinal, had 11 sacks last year for Arizona. Second down and 5, and a flag is thrown. You saw Kevin Hardy hesitate and then make the move.
28 offense prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, apparently Hardy was drawn off by Curtis Martin.
Anytime they stop the play, it's going to be against the offense. You know, Paul Brown used to say to me, once you get the heel in their jaw, don't stop to reset it. And that's part of what just took place when they accepted the penalty, took the repunt. They feel like they've got Jacksonville really running downhill right now.
It is a 2nd and 10 at the 14. Now Meggett on the field.
Getting a little bit of a conversation from Bill Parcells as we come on to the 2-minute warning.
We'll be back here in Foxborough in a moment. Everywhere we go on the NFL trail, we run into former assistant coaches of Sam Wyche.
They're Frick and Frack. That's Frack on the right.
Were these guys with you in Tampa Bay or Cincinnati?
I carried them with me to Tampa.
Second down and 10. Soft pass attempted. Terry Glenn not able to unleash, involved with Dave Thomas. Coming up, the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Chris Collinsworth, and Mike Ditka with all the scores and highlights of today's action around the league. And Chris will be talking with the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, David Shula. That'll be coming up at halftime. Third down and 10. Down to the 14-yard line. It's the Patriots 19 and the Jaguars nothing. Bledsoe completing. Terry Glenn stopped by the one-time Patriot Mickey Washington. For Glenn, it is his 2nd catch. It is short of the first down. The crowd wants the Patriots to go for it. It's a 4th down and 2.
Remember last week against Arizona, it was at the 10-yard line, 4th down and 1. Bledsoe rolled to his right and made almost the landmark play for this season.
Yes, Patriot players pointing at it in symbolic fashion.
It really has been. It's been talked about around here as if it's the turning point in the season, especially for that one player, Drew Bledsoe.
Well, I think the background, there was some doubts about Drew, and I think he was able to show his toughness. One of those plays, if things continue to go well for the Patriots, they will always point at it and say, hey, that was the turning point. If not, they'll forget about it.
Well, that's right. And there are benchmark times during the season for every team, but that one clearly stands out in the minds, not just of the fans around here, but I think the players too. They all talked about it, and it was a play that showed not just a quarterback standing back throwing the ball, but willing to give up something. He jumped over Aeneas Williams, landed on his shoulder and his head. Bill Parcells is going to Bill has some great expressions, doesn't he, when he tells people what to do. This is like, go out there and make the first down, or I'm going to come after you.
Very similar expressions that we saw in the NBC broadcast booth for
Is that right?
Bill's short tenure.
From the Jacksonville 6-yard line.
Oh, Bill always speaks highly of you, Marv. I know that.
It is a 4th down and 2 at the 6-yard line. Patriots with a double tight end as John Burke has come on. That is Coates in motion. And Bledsoe trying to draw the Jaguars offside and not able to do it, and it is a delay of game. So that was the plan of Bill Parcells, to pick up the first down by virtue of a penalty, and now the field goal unit will come on.
3 points right here gives them a 22-point spread. Bill watching this unfold. Oh, it's not going to work. All right, never mind. Go for the field goal. 20 with the mixed extra point earlier in the ball game. This field goal, if it's made, will give them a 22-point lead. That's 3 scores and some 2-point conversions for Jacksonville.
And it's a 29-yard attempt for Vinatieri, who is hit from 23 and from 30. And now a 29-yard field goal. 1:06 remaining. First half. And New England up 22-0.
Drew Bledsoe has picked up where he left off last week, and we just saw a vote of confidence from Bill Parcells in the favor of Adam Vinatieri on that last field goal. It was 4th down and 1.5 yards, 2 yards. Bill has no qualms about going for it on 4th downs, done it many times and had success with it. But to Adam Vinatieri, it was, in his eyes, it was Bill Parcells saying, I believe you can make this. Go out there and get us the lead. It puts us up by 3+ touchdowns.
Well, he is 3 for 3 this afternoon, with no question his job on the line. And Vinatieri able to pop the kick, played by Kendrick Bullard. And Bullard across the 25-yard line, a 26-yard return with 1 minute remaining in this first half. Adam Vinatieri, rookie from South Dakota State, Division II school. Bill Parcells, in mentioning yesterday that Vinatieri is what he categorizes as week to week, said, but he is rooting for him. He'd rather not make a change. May sound very basic to say. Obviously, he's rooting for his kicker, but he likes Adam Vinatieri, and he would like to stay with him.
I've been on those 7-day renewable contracts before. I know how it feels.
And a first down pass from Brunelle, completed to Jimmy Smith. It is short of the first down. Smith met by the cornerback Hitchcock, and now they're in the hurry-up. Clock running, 45 seconds to go in the half. Another impressive half for the New England Patriots. And it's batted down. Another deflection. Bill Parcells telling us the other day after practice that he thinks that Brunelle throws the ball a little too hard. You'll notice a lot of balls popping all over the place. Tom Coughlin was saying he has seen enough batted balls, tip balls, to last a lifetime.
Well, watch Willie McGinnis right here. We mentioned the word spy. He's not pass rushing. He's controlling the line of scrimmage, but watching the quarterback, and he reaches up and knocks it down. Sometimes you can throw the ball so hard he doesn't make for an easy catch.
3rd and 3. time, but he could not find a receiver. And runs for the first down and more. Then able to get out of bounds at the New England 48. So that is a 19-yard run by Brunelle. It'll look good in terms of the stats, but they have not been able to run in the portion of the game where you want to set things up. Time is running out here in the first half. Only 28 seconds to go, and they're finally able to put some rushing yardage on the scoreboard.
Well, this is actually a very vulnerable time for Jacksonville. Had they been 3 and out right here and given New England another chance at it before the half, but now with 28 seconds left, at least they've got field position.
Brunelle able to step up and completes for the first down on some more. McCardell hauled down by Ray and Law, and the clock is stopped. A timeout is taken with 19 seconds to go in the half. 15-yard pickup in the first catch of the day by McCardell, but a flag is down, as you see.
Looks like it's going to be holding against Jacksonville, bringing that back. But we'll take a look here after we hear from Larry Nemmers what the penalty is.
Holding, offense number 71. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Well,
watch what Mark Brunelle does right after he throws the ball. Watches the completion. He turns immediately to the referee, the official standing behind him, to call timeout. You'll see young players sometimes will run all the way down the field and try to find an official where the ball stopped. He turns right there. That's how you save a few seconds in a 2-minute drill.
Penalty was called on Tony Baselli. It is a 1st and 20 back at the 42-yard line. Brunelle able to hang in the pocket, and again the ball was deflected. Terry Ray got a piece of it. It was intended for Risen.
Mark Brunelle is just not getting any depth. This time he gets up under the center, not in the shotgun. But see how tight he is to the line of scrimmage right there. There's not a lot of room for him to negotiate, plus the pass rush is just getting to it.
The numbers on Brunelle, 6 of 13, only 59 yards, and he was picked off once. 16 seconds remaining in the half. And Brunelle off the mark, intended for the tight end. Pete Mitchell out of Boston College, drawing the double coverage from Malloy and Wiggum.
You can almost feel Mark Brunelle. This is a common trait for quarterbacks. They get nervous, and what they do is they squeeze the ball. You can almost feel their wrists getting tight around that ball. And as you're squeezing that ball, see, the longer he stays in the pocket, the tighter it gets. The tighter, if you ever just sit in your living room right now, squeeze your fist, you'll feel the muscles tighten all the way up through your chest. You yank the ball down, you get a lot of them knocked down, tipped.
And I can see folks all over, up out of their seats, squeezing fists. Sideline pattern with time running down. Only 5 seconds left in the half. Andre Rison with the catch. Brunelle took another good hit. Looked like Chris Slade was able to get to the quarterback.
This just adds to what the quarterback is thinking about. Not only is he maybe in his mind not finding the receiver on time, but every time he seems to let the ball go, he's getting pounded. This time Chris Slade comes in there and does the damage.
It is a 4th down and 14, so Brian Barker has come out to punt back at his 34-yard line.
Those kind of hits hurt a little bit, Marv, but they wear a flak jacket. They just it stuns them a little bit. Those aren't going to cause many injuries.
And now the Patriots calling for time. That is their final timeout.
Guess what's happening here? They want to receive another punt, get the ball in Meggett's hands. Remember, Bill told us he wanted that ball in his hands 15 to 18 times in the ball game. I guess he's not reached his quota yet. But they're just saying to the Jacksonville team, we want to receive another punt.
Well, Dave Meggett has had his way in returning punts. Coming into today, the Jaguars had difficulty on kickoff coverage. The punt coverage was okay, but not the case here in the first half.
I think you're seeing a New England team that is hit stride here in week 3, really last week, and again in the week 4. They are just playing solid football, confident football, and they're pulling the right strings right now. Bill Parcells, though, is keeping his expressions as varied as ever.
And And now the Jaguars have decided not to punt. They'll just run it out. Why take a chance and give the ball back to Meggett with 5 seconds remaining? And Brunelle scrambling around and will just fire one downfield, firing for the end zone, a jump ball, and it is caught. Touchdown on the deflection. Jimmy Smith able to come up with the ball.
Let's think back what just happened. Had New England not called timeout, the clock would have run out, and we'd be inside right now talking about the first half.
So that backfires on Bill Parcells with Brunelle just tossing one up into the end zone. It's a 52-yard pass, and Jimmy Smith, in his 4th season out of Jackson State, the one-time Dallas Cowboy, is able to come up with it, his 2nd touchdown reception of the season. You see all the hands going for it, and Smith able to follow the plate and very fortunate to come up with that ball.
It's a hope shot. You know, the odds are not very good, but you take a chance. And it came through for him that time. When you see the ball in the air that long and nothing around it but dark skies.
And Mike Hollis with the extra point with time running out in this first half. Here's another look at it.
Everybody get in position. Defensive backs, you see Hitchcock tried to knock that ball down, and that's really what they should be trying to do. Don't try to catch the ball and intercept it. Knock it straight down. Ball stayed here long enough, though, for the touchdown.
And that is the longest touchdown pass in the career of Mark Brunelle. 22-7 the score at the half. Patriots in front of the Jaguars now to Greg Gumbel in New York. Welcome back to Foxborough. Marv Albert and Sam Wyche, a dominating first half for the New England Patriots. They are up 22-7, and Vinatieri with the kickoff to Bullard and Jordan. And this is Randy Jordan with the return. And works his way up to the 24-yard line, 22-yard return. Sam, you look back at for Jacksonville, the first 24 plays, only 79 yards as we check out the Coors Light halftime statistics. And the last play, that jump ball thrown by Mark Brunelle, results in 51 of their yards in the first half.
Yeah, the real story is told right here. They only got 3 first downs. Of course, one of them was on that Hail Mary that was 51 yards, as you mentioned. That counts as a first down as well. So really only 2 first downs in the first half.
Mark Brunelle, who did not have an easy time of it in the first half, 8 of 15 overall, 131 yards. And he goes to the ground for James Stewart. Stopped by Ted Johnson.
Last play of the first half. Jacksonville actually got themselves back into this ball game, at least for the moment. A roll out to the left. This happened right after Bill Parcells decided to call timeout to try to force the punt to get the ball in Dave Meggett's hands one more time. Looks like a nice 9-iron shot there in the Solheim Cup series. Solheim. I'm not very good at golf either.
Yes. But, you know, you had good intentions to work the promo in. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
A second down and 11, and Brunelle off the run. Couldn't find anyone. Run out by Lawyer Malloy.
You know, Marv, right before the Hail Mary, Mark Brunelle scrambled to his right, made about a 19-yard run out of the shotgun, got out of bounds right at the end of the second quarter here before the Hail Mary. Nothing happening down the field. Tucks the ball, gets to the sideline not only to make the yardage, to put him in Hail Mary range, but also to stop the clock.
So it turned out to be a significant play. We were talking about the fact that the 19 yards would have no meaning, but it did, as you say, set up that long pass. 3rd down and 6, and off the pump, it is completed to Smith, and he has a first down. Ricky Reynolds, the right corner, up to make the stop. And let's check out the numbers on the 2 quarterbacks, Mark Brunelle and Drew Bledsoe. Now 8 of 16 in that first half for 131 yards, and Bledsoe at 14 for 19, 111 yards. However, the Patriots, although they certainly had their way statistically, not able to take full advantage. They had to settle for 3 field goals. A first down at the 37. 3rd quarter is just underway. Well, it is ruled an incomplete pass, and that's a close call. The tight end Derek Brown had it and then dropped it, covered by Terry Ray. Derek Brown is a guy who has never been able to get going. Sat out all of last season because of a lacerated spleen. In his 5th season out of Notre Dame, a one-time New York Giant, disappointing in his days as a Giant. He was a #1 draft pick. He has just 2 catches for the season. 2nd down and 10. And Brunelle completes. Pete Mitchell, the other tight end, on the reception. Check that. James Stewart on the reception and goes for 20 yards. Johnson and Clay combine to make the stop.
And it was a 2nd down and long, and they brought Ty Law from his left cornerback spot right here. Now watch him. He's going to blitz. Snap of the ball. Still playing a zone. Watch right, deep zone right here. 2 safeties, but nobody in the middle. And when you leave the zone open that way with the Ty Law not get there in time, they're 1 short defense.
And a 1st down at the 43. Stewart trying the left side. He has not been able to do it. 7 carries, only 7 yards for Stewart. Natron Means has not handled the ball as of yet. Made his return last week following thumb surgery. Only 8 carries, 12 yards. It was thought we would see more of Means, although there is still a good chunk of this game to go.
Remember, he didn't come in the game until the 3rd quarter last week. So it could be, we could see him. But he's got a cast on his right hand where he had thumb surgery.
2nd down and 8, and again a drop.
I'll tell you, Marv, this is working on the quarterback as much as anybody else. That's 2 passes he put right in the hands of his tight ends. One of them, Derek Brown, and that one, Rich Griffith. And both times they were dropped. You can't blame that one on Mark Brunelle, but at the same time, the ball isn't moving down the field with him at the helm.
It is a 3rd and 8. The ball at the Patriot 41-yard line. 3 minutes, 20 seconds gone by. 3rd quarter, Patriots 22, Jaguars 7. And Brunelle is throwing deep. It is caught by Risen. Another spectacular play in the end zone off a long pass. This one for 41 yards.
The key to this play is Andre Rison absolutely playing as if nothing is happening downfield, completely fooling the coverage. There's no one open initially, and Mark Brunelle has to scramble to his left. Now we watch Andre Rison going down the field. He's covered by Jimmy Hitchcock. But watch him. Now watch his arms go down. See, he's just playing possum right there. Jimmy Hitchcock doesn't turn around in time, although he does get his head around at the last second. And he's out-muscled for the ball by Andre Rison.
A battle for the football, and Rison able to take it away. Here's Mike Hollis for the extra point. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are very much back into it on a 51-yard prayer and this 41-yard pass play. Patriots lead now 22-14. Well, head coach Tom Coughlin has to be saying, I can't believe that we are back into it in this manner. Andre Rison, who did not have an enjoyable season in Cleveland last year, coming up with that grab in a wrestling match with the corner, Jimmy Hitchcock.
Now, as you're going, back that one up just a little bit if you can for us. As Andre Rison is going down the field, watch his arms kind of drop to his side. I've said for a long time that coaches watch their players. Right here, see his arms? They're straight down. They're not in a ready position. But his arms right here are straight down, and he's looking back. Hitchcock has just turned back at that point. All he did was he made the defender, Jimmy Hitchcock, relax just a little bit and wasn't quite ready to go up and fight for the ball like Andre Rison was. That's a veteran football player and a very smart. Watch him right there. Watch his body language. He's going down the field, and for all the world, Hitchcock is looking at him. He feels that the play is over. His arms are down. Nothing's happening. He's not running away from him. Then he reaches up and out-muscles him for the ball.
Beautiful decoy move by Rison. 8 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes, 27 seconds. And it seemed that New England was comfortably in front. Final minute of that first half had the big lead, a 22-0 advantage, and suddenly it is 22-14. This Jimmy Hitchcock, second year out of North Carolina, third-round draft pick last season.
Coaches battle an entire ball game to make sure their players stay in it for 4 quarters. It's so easy to feel like you've got one under control.
Now Mike Hollis with the kick to Dave Meggett. Troy Brown, short kickoff, played by Brown, across the 20, and taken down. Down by Randy Jordan. And here's a report on middle linebacker Brian Schwartz, the leading tackler for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sprained his left knee, and he is out the rest of the game. Could read Bill Parcells' lips saying, "Wake up, wake up."
He said that several times on the field Friday. He's been trying to wake this team up, making sure that last week's 31-0 didn't put him in a comfort zone.
First down from the 20-yard line, and Curtis Martin is taken down by John Yurkovich. So a loss on the play. Now you would think that New England should be well in front of this game when you look at the first half possessions, but they had to settle for the 3 field goals. There was also that missed extra point.
This is a totally unpredictable game, and you have to break it down throughout the ball game. You never really have control of a game until mathematically the time is up.
Second down and 11. And here's Gash. Run out by Hardy. Sam Gash with his 5th catch of the day. He ranks among the league's best blocking fullbacks. Does not run with the ball frequently. Had 8 carries all of last year. He's carried it only 4 times this season. Bill Parcells saying that Gash has come a long way, learned to play the game in a more relaxed manner. He was too much full speed. Tells us he may have been on the hyper side at times. Third down and 4. And a first down picked up. The completion to Sean Jefferson. And it's good for 12 yards.
Jacksonville tries to blitz right here, right up the middle, but they fall down. Watch right here. The linebackers are going to lose their footing in the blitz, and of course all they do is they leave a big giant hole right in the middle for the completion. When you blitz, you have to get to the quarterback, because really the defense is at a disadvantage if the quarterback has time to throw in a blitzing situation.
And the Patriots have a 1st and 10 from their 38-yard line. Inside handoff, Curtis Martin breaks tackles, runs for the first down and more. Took that pop from Thomas and Hudson. They get him out of bounds, and that is a pickup of 19 for Martin.
And they blitz again from the backside right here. Now, anytime you're blitzing, you're filling lanes, but you're going up the field. If the ball carrier passes you going the other way, there's not another layer of defense. And that's what happened with Curtis Martin right there. Speed, in this case right here, is the advantage to the offense.
Curtis Martin, the 10th running back, 10th back taken in the draft last season. A steal on the 3rd round. Oh, here is the flea flicker. They tried it last week, and Bledsoe firing. It is broken up.
Marvin had wide open on that play. He had Mike Bartram, of all people, running across the field. I think we'll be able to see. Bill Parcells saw the wide open receiver coming across the field. Now watch right here, coming across the field. He's going to be wide open. I'm sorry, it's the man in motion coming across the field. You got 3 defenders back here deep, taking it deep. There's nobody left here. Quarterback sometimes on a special play like that, it was Sean Jefferson. It wasn't the tight end. Sometimes you practice a play, you only go to one guy in practice, and you never really go to the alternate receiver.
And it's a 2nd down and 10. Oh, it's dropped. Then Coates went to his knees and could not hold on. He mistimed it. It'll be a 3rd down and 10. That is a rare sight because Coates was open.
Well, it could have been the field right there. Normally, when you throw a hook pattern or a turn-in pattern, the quarterback will throw the ball at the belt buckle. Look at the flight of the ball right here. This ball is down low where it ought to be because the receiver is going to be coming back to the quarterback. And as he comes back to the quarterback, the ball tends to climb up your chest. Looked like he just kind of lost his footing, and when he hit the ground, it bounced out.
Thus far, only 2 catches for Coates. 3rd down and 10. Bledsoe was able to hang in. Nice grab by Meggett. Oh, and takes a hit. He was down and then took a good shot. Eddie Robinson and Robert Massey able to get to Meggett, and let's see where they spot the ball close to the 1st down.
There would be another decision for Bill Parcells on 4th down. And he is not talking about the punt team right now.
Notice the ace bandage on the assistant who is carrying the wires.
You never stand on Bill's right side, yes. I'm telling you.
He is dragging him around.
I think the Patriots are going to go for this if it is not a 1st down on the mark. Massey's hit, I think, kept them short of the 1st down just by inches. Bill Parcells already made his decision. He's not looking out there. The call's been made. The play's decided. Now they've got to go execute.
Well, if you're looking field goal, which Parcells is definitely not, particularly with the adventurous ways of Adam Vinatieri, although he's hit 3 of 3 today, it would be a 52-yard attempt. Double tight ends, and now 3 tight ends. Todd Rucci, backup offensive lineman, joining John Bergen and Ben Coates. 4th and inches.
They were 2 for 2 last week on 4th down.
And they connect right here. Curtis Martin picks it up.
3 for 3 in their last 3 outings. You know, a lot of coaches will not. They prefer to play it safe, never give the ball up and risk the field position loss. Bill Parcells believes that if you've got a team that ought to make those yards, you take your chances. Percentages, honestly, are with you when you start to add up the total points that are available to score if you go for it on 4th down.
A 1st down at the 31-yard line. Coates able to adjust, came back for it, but he is stacked up. And Coates refusing to go down, and here's it from the crowd.
Man-to-man coverage. Drew Bledsoe read that. It appeared that he audible at the line of scrimmage. And Ben Coates is just going to jump right into the flat, looking over his outside shoulder. Man-to-man coverage. And here's where the crowd reacts. Watch what happens. A lot of man standing up. He's still standing.
Perhaps the premier tight end in the NFL. 10th play of the drive. Martin tried to slash his way. Tom McManus made the stop. I know you were watching the interview at halftime. Chris Collinsworth in a chat with the head man of the Cincinnati Bengals, Dave Shula. And Chris made the point that while you were head coach of Cincinnati, you were not always under control. Surprising to us that he would bring that up, and
only happened 8 or 10 times. I don't know why he brings that up like that.
Had your differences with general manager Mike Brown. I'd like to get your reaction to that after this play. A 3rd down and 5 at the 26-yard line. 6:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Meggett try to cut inside, but comes up short, and that hole was plugged by Eddie Robinson.
You hear the crowd making their judgment on that call right there. They ran a draw in the first half for a touchdown, similar type situation, and scored a touchdown. This time it doesn't work, so the field goal attempt is next.
And this a 44-yard attempt by Vinatieri, who now for the season in hitting 3 of 3 is a more respectable 6 for 10. 44-yard attempt. The holder is the punter, Tom Tupa. And this one is no good. Wide to the right side. So 5:52 remaining. 3rd quarter. Patriots have an 8-point lead.
He's worked almost 40 years. She's worked almost 40 years. And during that time, They've gone on walks together instead of cruises, and shared secrets together instead of champagne, just so that someday they could retire and be together all the time. At Cigna, we care about the retirement dreams of over 5 million people. After all, there are dreams too. Cigna, a business of caring.
When my grandfather surfed the Bonsai Pipeline, narrow boards ruled. Eventually, Gramps had a stroke of genius. A wider board for better control. He said, wider is better.
Introducing the new Wide Track Grand Prix. Its wheels are set wide to hold the road for more control when you're shooting the curves.
It's true.
The new Wide Track Grand Prix from Pontiac. Wider is better.
You, and you have the right to play sports until the cows come home.
You have the right to assemble.
You have the right to be equipped.
You have the right to free speech.
But anything you say can be held against you.
That's life.
Liberty.
And the pursuit of the goal.
But you don't have the right to remain thirsty.
Not when there's Gatorade.
Because every athlete has the right to be quenched.
These are your rights.
Now get out there and exercise them.
Life is a sport.
Drink it up.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer, we are driving excitement. By Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping people live safer, more secure lives. That's the freedom of liberty. And by Gatorade Thirst Quencher, get out and exercise your rights. Life's a sport. Drink it up.
Back in Foxborough, we'll get back to your reaction to that halftime interview with Dave Shula in a moment, and also another look at the missed field goal by Adam Vinatieri. 1st and 10 at the 34. Jacksonville has taken over. Patriots leading the Jaguars 22-14. And it's Stewart trying to make the turn. Could not. Flag is tossed. Ricky Reynolds, the right corner, able to cut off James Stewart, who has been ineffective. Here's the referee, Larry Nevers.
Holding on number 73, the offensive team. We have a face mask penalty, 5 yards only, against the defensive team. The penalties will offset. We'll replay first down.
On the field goal attempt just a moment ago, we thought this is a lousy part of the field. I will tell you that. They played a soccer game here last night. The field's a little choppy, but it looks like Adam Vinatieri's foot is planted smoothly. Passed through the ball, just missed it to the right. Bill, as he watches that one, all you can do from there is kind of lean if you can affect it with the body language somewhat. Not good.
And off the do-over play, Adam Vinatieri feeling very lonely at this moment. Brunelle just looked to throw it away, but again, a flag is down.
That time they brought Ricky Reynolds in the corner blitz. The holding was inside, though, of the offensive line.
Another penalty against the Jaguars. That is their 10th of the game.
Holding, offense number 71, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And that's the left tackle, Tony Vaselli. It is now a 1st and 20 down at the 24-yard line. 83 yards in penalties assessed on Jacksonville. 10 penalties, New England with just 3.
Tony Vaselli, Leon Searcy, maybe 2 of the best tackles on one team in the National Football League.
The screen did not work. The hard hit as James Stewart was walloped by the middle linebacker, Ted Johnson, in his 2nd season out of Colorado. Getting back to the halftime interview, Chris Collinsworth talking with head coach Dave Shula, the Bengals. What's your reaction to the out-of-control statement? Well, we here in the booth back you on this no matter what.
Yeah, from way back there I noticed. I don't make any apologies for the fact that I stood up for a lot of things that I believed in, and sometimes that is not exactly what somebody else believes in. I respect Mike Brown. He's a friend of mine, but we did have disagreements. I think Dave put it right. You always have them when you're in a boss-employee relationship.
2nd down and 20. The flag's thrown.
Game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, now a delay of game against the Jaguars, so they are pushed further back.
You know, those things happen on 4th down more than they should. The clock starts when the whistle blows in the previous play. You've got 40 seconds. Excuse me, on 2nd down and long. After a loss or after something has happened, anytime the clock stops like that, though, it goes to 25 seconds, and everyone loses track of those 15 seconds.
It is a 2nd and 25 at the 19. 5:20 left, 3rd quarter. And Brunelle, Ty Law broke it up. Thought he had come up with the interception with the one hand. The pass intended for Keenan McCardell, but it is ruled incomplete, and again a penalty marker. And again against Jacksonville.
And it's getting sloppy with Jacksonville. Tom Coughlin is just saying, what else can happen? What's going on out there, man? Get yourselves together. This is where Tom Coughlin...
Drop block, number 73 offense. Will go half the distance to the goal and repeat 2nd down.
This is where Tom Coughlin needs leadership on the field. He can't go out there and bring the guys together. Somebody out there on the football field has got to do it. Ty Law going up. He goes up with one hand. Take them both up when you go up. And the ball does come loose. You know, if you can reach the ball with one hand, you can reach it with two hands. And you should take it up. Don't ever try to make a beautiful play if you can make a sure play.
It is now a 2nd and 34 to go. Back at the 10-yard line.
Always one of my favorite situations in play. 2nd and 34.
And the crowd loves it. Brunelle able to pick up some yardage with that completion of Jimmy Smith, stopped by Terry Ray, and it'll be a 3rd and still very long. Well, next Saturday, Lou Holtz's Notre Dame squad with a big test as they go up against the Buckeyes of Ohio State, while Ron Paulus of the Irish needed a late field goal to beat Texas. The Buckeyes yesterday ran through Pittsburgh, winning 72-0. Ohio State has scored 142 points in 2 games, beat the Irish last year by 19. A top 10 battle of unbeaten. Notre Dame and Ohio State next Saturday. And here's Brunelle standing in the pocket and looks to go short range and almost picked off on the interception off the hand of Andre Rison, who was covered by Ricky Reynolds.
Really, New England is just playing a zone defense, and they're only rushing 3 people because Willie McGinnis is just playing. You see right at the end of the play right there, coming up on the quarterback. He is spying. He's not rushing the quarterback. He's mirroring everywhere he goes.
And this is Brian Barker. 4th punt of the day. Dave Meggett drifting over to the far side and lets it go. So a 34-yard punt, 4:19 left, 3rd quarter. Patriots lead by 8.
This is the Pontiac Bonneville, one of the world's most powerful sports sedans. The luxury of the driver's command center surrounds you with 12-way adjustable seats, steering wheel stereo controls, and a powerful supercharged engine, which makes it tough to get a good long look. So we're offering this free video information kit by calling 1-800-443-4444. Just call 1-800-443-4444.
Is it Diet Dr. Pepper or regular? You have 10 seconds to decide. But if you can't tell the difference, don't worry. You probably can't taste the difference either. Even with all the time in the world. Discover the great taste of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Herman Mortgage, right? Don Cornelius, I've come to ask you a favor. Don Cornelius, can you teach me to dance?
What, like the funky chicken or the mashed potatoes?
Oh, man, like the hands on it. Free your mind, Herman.
And your feet will follow.
Take the oath.
This is my planet.
Herman, you sure you from Motown?
Next Sunday at noon Eastern, Haas and the Raiders face the Bears, or the Chiefs clash with the Chargers, or regional action next Sunday on the NFL on NBC.
While we're away, Paul Widener was getting a earful from Bill Parcells. Can you see the jugular right there on the side of his neck? That is a lot of blood pumping. And then, of course, Dave Wyatt walks up. Wrong timing there, Dave. Not now.
And, Sam, this is the side of the personality that we saw several years ago at our weekly production meetings at NBC.
I tell you, yeah, Drew Bledsoe is supposed to be on the field, and he's over getting a drink of water or something. And Bill Parcells is not the guy that you want to be standing next to right now.
Sam, a question regarding Bill Parcells. Is he a lame duck coach after cutting a year off his contract? That was his choice, but I got the idea he did approach this season with renewed vigor and resolve. He says that his energy level is up. He's been coaching hard, as you saw at practice this week.
He doesn't look like a lame duck coach to me on the practice field, and he certainly hasn't looked like one on the sideline this afternoon.
First down at the 43-yard line. Here's Martin. Breaking tackles. They cannot bring down Curtis Martin. He goes for 16. Finally, Tom McManus did take him to the ground. 18 carries, 76 yards for Martin.
Martin running right through tackles. Good block, though, to spring him. We didn't quite get into the picture, but watch him right now. Big hole to begin with, and then it's all his. Just breaking tackles. Now, you know, he doesn't break tackles by running through people. Notice he's going sideways. People are never getting a full, clean shot at it.
First down at the Jacksonville 41. Play action from Bledsoe, and he completes. Terry Glenn, stopped by Mickey Washington. Terry Glenn, first-round draft pick and a controversial first-round selection. It was clear that Bill Parcells preferred a defensive player. It was not an easy training camp for Terry Glenn.
No, it wasn't. But right here you see him come back to the quarterback, ball thrown right at the belt. About it earlier when Ben Coates dropped one. He comes right back for the completion.
Martin. We're down to 3 minutes left in this third quarter. Martin stopped by the combination of Hardy and Davey. Did pick up 4. It is a second down and 6.
And I don't understand what they're booing. I believe it's you, Marv.
That is conceivable.
There's nothing else to boo right now. If your attitude doesn't change, we can hear more of it.
Well, Sam Gash just left the field. That is not what the reaction involves. As Bledsoe on a timing pattern, trying to fluke one for Glenn. And Patriots thought they were able to pick up an interference on Thomas, but the official said no.
Top of the screen, you can see this is just a little step and go is what it's called right here. Now watch. Bump and run. The defender is in a bump and run position, just running with him up the field. The ball's in the air. Nobody knows. The defender, at least, doesn't know where it is at that point, and he looks back. As a defender, when the ball's in the air that long, you always look up because it's not going to be thrown on line. It's going to be dropping in. You got to find it by looking up, not out.
Third down and 6. Now Dave Beckett is the lone running back. Audible for Bledsoe, could not get the play off. It is a delay of game.
Still third down.
Just a mental lapse. There's no other excuse for that. There's a 40-second clock that you can look at. The quarterbacks, as they break the huddle, are supposed to come right to it. Now, once that official marks the ball and winds his arm, it's a 25-second clock. They're breaking the huddle now. There should be no problem.
It is a third and 11. Saw the jump, no flags tossed, and Bledsoe on a keeper could not find anyone and took a pretty good hit. He's 3 yards short of a first down. Eddie Robinson up from the weak side linebacker position to make the stop, and a fourth down coming up in the field goal unit checking in, which is not greeted positively by this crowd. Here's Adam Vinatieri, who hit 3 earlier and then missed from 40 plus, missed from 34 yards away. This is a 40-yard attempt. The angle is to the right. High snap. Vinatieri puts it through. Oh, that has to feel
a big kick for him.
For Vinatieri.
When my grandfather served the bond.
Well, the New England Patriots with their first points of the second half, the 40-yard field goal by Adam Vinatieri, who is getting set to kick it off to Jimmy Smith and Willie Jackson. So Tom Coughlin going now with Jackson back deep. It has been a busy day for Adam Vinatieri, who came into today's game with a certain shaky type feeling. Minute and a half left, third quarter. And this is Jackson. And Jackson fires it across the field.
It's a lateral. It's a legal play.
Jimmy Smith. Well, Tom Coughlin showing us a wrinkle. And we'll get another look at that one when we come back. Patriots leading the Jaguars 25-14.
Bob and Judith Akers.
A moment ago, Willie Jackson is returning the kickoff right here. And he goes to the right, turns and throws to the left. Hold it right there. Here's the official in perfect position to rule that it is a backward pass to Jimmy Smith. The ball can bounce as many times as it wants to as long as it's going backwards. Almost a big play. But I'll guarantee you, Tom Coughlin's heart was beating about 300 beats a second when he let that one go.
That looked like one out of your playbook.
No, well, okay.
And a first down at the 39. I meant that in a very positive manner.
No, I just didn't take it that way.
All right, Brunelle able to complete, and Andre Rison will go all the way. His second touchdown of the game. 61-yard pass play. It has been a game of big plays and good fortune for the Jaguars, beginning with the Hail Mary as time ran out at the end of the first half, and it is now Patriots 25 and the Jaguars 20.
And they're going to go for 2 points. This will put them within 3 points field goal range with still a minute to go in the third quarter. Marv, you're right. This has been 2 unbelievable plays. A Hail Mary right before the end of the half, and then this one where Andre Rison really just breaks a tackle and gets into the end zone. Almost a taunt there at the end, though. And had been back towards the opponent, I think they'd throw the flag. He was taunting the fans.
All right, first time this season the Jaguars have gone for the 2-point conversion. At one point, the Patriots led 22-0. And Brunelle will take it by himself, and he's in for the 2 points.
Much like a quarterback draw, and they're pulling the guards around. It's a trap draw. Only have to go a couple of yards, and you're going a straight line, straight ahead. Andre Rison. Inside release, straight up the field. The ball is really just a little bit underthrown. He waited a second, but the defender falls down. Ricky Reynolds, last week against Buffalo, Ricky Reynolds was bitten as well. He was in good position playing a good football game, but he had 1 lapse, and Buffalo got the winning touchdown out of it. Plenty of time, good protection. Gave the quarterback a chance to really step into the throw. Now Andre Rison right here runs the risk of a taunt. The official can do it. You can see the guards pulling right there early on. And Brunelle just gave him a chance to run in front of him, knock some people down a little bit so that he could just jump in the end zone. He only had to go 2 yards.
So the Jaguars are on a 22-3 run after trailing 22-0. Mike Hollis will kick it off with 1:09 remaining in this third quarter. Troy Brown and Dave Meggett are back deep. And a short kick. Played by Brown. And Brown battles his way to the 30-yard line. It is an 18-yard return. Well, next Sunday, NBC Sports will present more NFL action at the special time of 12 noon Eastern with NFL on NBC. Most of you will see Jeff Hostetler and the silver and black attack the Windy City Raiders and the Bears. Good many of you will see the Chargers take on the Chiefs, or the Oilers square off against the Steelers. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Good lineup next Sunday right here on NBC. Just under 1 minute left, third quarter. Patriots now clinging to a 3-point lead. Bledsoe off the play fake, able to find the opening and runs it out to the 38-yard line. Eddie Robinson with the wraps on Bledsoe, who is hearing the chants of Drew. They love to see Drew Bledsoe run with the ball. And this goes back to that play of a week ago when in somersaulting fashion he picked up the first down.
It does, because this is not a running quarterback. This is the natural thing to do, though. He's got a little token play action fake. Nobody's open. Step up into the pocket. Keep climbing up. Tuck the ball, put it under your arm, and get what you can. It's not an exceptional play, except it's Drew Bledsoe doing it.
5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
But there was a flag. They call against New England, so they will bring it back, and it is now a 1st and 15. Apparently John Burke was in motion.
You know, this is one of those games where no matter who wins, the winning coach is not going to be happy with the way this team played.
Bledsoe to the sideline, and it is incomplete. It was short hop by Sean Jefferson, covered by Dave Thomas. We are down to 31 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Looking ahead for the Patriots, next week is a bye week, and then they'll play at Baltimore, home for Washington, then at Indianapolis, and back home for Buffalo and Miami. It's an early bye week for the Patriots.
Bye weeks are early for everybody. We'll explain why in just a minute.
Second down and 15. And Martin trying to get to the outside and cut across the 30-yard line, met by Tom McManus.
The bye weeks, Marv, for a lot of reasons, have been moved as early in the season as they can. Number one, you've got some baseball teams that play in the same stadium as football teams, so you give them that week off. It's hot in the early part of the season. It's a little bit more comfortable later on, and you don't want to have bye weeks later in the year when the momentum of the season is underway. You don't want to disrupt that.
So that is the end of the third quarter. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Tonight. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Fourth quarter underway at Foxborough. Bledsoe again finding his receivers covered and was lucky to get that one off. Dave Thomas putting the pressure on Drew Bledsoe, and it brings up a 4th and 9 at the 31. You can see the Jaguars have turned it around in this third quarter. That big play, a 61-yard touchdown pass from Brunelle to Rison. We've had 3 big plays by Mark Brunelle, although once again the Jaguars not able to get anything going on the ground. Chris Hudson is back for this punt off the side of the foot. Not a good punt. Goes for 31 yards from Tom Tupa.
Now, Mark Brunelle's Hail Mary at the end of the half kind of got him back into it. Then, of course, the big hit to Andre Rison puts him right in this one.
Liberty Mutual, helping people live safer, more secure lives, presents Playing It Safe. Today's football players are 80% more handsome than those of 40 years ago. Why? Stay tuned. Players in the rag days definitely needed their heads examined, often. That's why today's headgear contains a special gel to protect their skulls and visors to keep opponents' hands off their gorgeous mugs.
On NBC.
Capacity crowd, 60,292 here in Foxborough, looking to urge on the home club. Jacksonville coming from behind. They were down 22-0. And now it is only 25-22 for the Patriots. Stewart. Once again, the Patriots able to control the running game of the Jaguars. Todd Collins with the stop, playing for the injured Monty Brown. Brown out with that strained groin. Mark Brunelle, 13 of 25, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns. The first was that prayer at the end of the half, 51 yards to Jimmy Smith. Connected on a 41-yarder to Andre Rison, and then a 61-yard touchdown paying with Rison. Second down and 8 at the 40. Off the fake. Brunelle. Beautiful play as he connects with the tight end, Derek Brown, for a first down.
Now, all of the defensive players for New England talked about how well prepared they felt with Bill Belichick as the coach, putting in the 4-3 defense, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers this year. Brunelle rolling, though, to his right. He's a left-handed quarterback, and he rolls against the grain to his right and finds the open tight end coming across from the other side. This is still a very well-prepared defensive unit. They have just been hit by 2 big plays in this game.
First catch of the day by the tight end, Derek Brown, and a first down at the New England 48-yard line. And again, Brunelle able to connect. Another first down, a diving catch by Pete Mitchell, stopped by Terry Ray. Pete Mitchell, in his second season out of Boston College, had 41 catches last year. Played for Tom Coughlin at BC.
See him coming across right over here. Oops. Top of the screen, excuse me, coming right up here at the top. Spreading about, throwing all over the field.
And a first down, 7. Here's Stewart. Inside the 35, and a penalty marker is down. Mike Jones with the stop on James Stewart. And the penalty coming up against the Jaguars.
Jacksonville in a good drive right here. They made some key plays. See what the penalty is.
Holding, offense number 79, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Well, that's the center, Dave Wydell.
You ever notice that when a holding penalty is called and they yell your number out, your head immediately shakes left to right? I was nowhere near him.
13th penalty against the Jaguars.
First down and 20 yards to go. Don't try to get everything back at once. Keep your drive alive at this stage.
12 and a half remaining. In the fourth quarter, the Patriots have a 3-point lead. And again, the play is whistled dead. Leon Searcy looked to be the man who moved at right tackle.
False start prior to the snap. Number 72 offense.
Well, it is Searcy. Remember
First
Tom
down.
Coughlin telling us last night that he's been very unhappy with his team, as you'd expect, the past couple of weeks. Losses to Houston and Oakland, although they were certainly very much in both games. But he said he's told his team you have to deal with the pressure when the game is on the line. Otherwise, it'll be just another so-so football team. And here they are. Game is on the line in the fourth quarter. They have come from behind. They were down 22-0, but the question is, let's see what they can do here. And a timeout is called by Jacksonville with 12-12 remaining in the fourth.
Let's go, boys.
Hell on NBC is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Duracell batteries, you can't top the copper top. And by Microsoft Software. Where do you want to go today?
We welcome you back to Foxborough. Marv Albert with Sam Wyche. 12 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Patriots 25, Jaguars 22. And a first and 25 from midfield for Jacksonville. Brunelle has the pass dropped. James Stewart could not hold on. He was covered by Terry Ray.
Stewart is just into the flat, plenty of protection. New England still just rushing three linemen, and they're spying with the fourth. Right, his hands, you've just got to make those catches. This is what Tom Coughlin talked about. You've got to make plays.
There have been several drops by the Jaguars. 2nd and 25 from the 48. And now the softer pass handled by Mitchell, but short of the first down. Run out by the free safety, Willie Clay. Mitchell's 2nd catch of the game. That's good for 18 yards.
That's just good play calling, because New England is dropping back into a soft zone. They bring the tight end from right to left. You'll see him coming across your screen right here in just a second. And there he goes. The ball is just laid out underneath the zone. Let him run for it. It was 2nd down and long. Get as much of it as you can. Now they got 3rd down and about 5.
Jacksonville at the New England 32-yard line. Brunelle has been very effective in the 4th quarter, in contrast to Drew Bledsoe, who's had his difficulties in the 4th this season. Here's Brunelle, and again beautifully thrown to Mitchell, and has the first down inside the 15.
Now, New England have been bringing 3 rushers for the last almost the entire series. This time they line up with 5 players, some of them linebackers, all 5 of these players right along the line right here in a 3-point stance. They got a little game coming. You'll see him come around the side. A 5-man rush. But what does it do? It leaves you with no underneath help. Look, there's nobody underneath the man-on-man coverage. If you pick up the blitz, it's an offensive advantage.
And that is a 19-yard advance. First down at the Patriot 13-yard line. Here's Stewart. Flag is thrown. Stewart stopped by the left defensive end, Mike Jones. And again, it is against the Jaguars. We'll be back to hear the penalty call after we check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Marv, in Kansas City, another 3-point battle going on. Marcus Allen from 2 yards out, his 106th rushing touchdown ties him for number 2 all-time. Career TD number 128, 17-14. Chiefs lead Denver, plenty of time. Well, 4:09 left in the 4th, Marv.
All right, thank you, Greg. And the penalty call against Jacksonville, the left guard, Ben Coleman, called for a hold. And Sam, that is 15 penalties against the Jaguars today, coming in over the first 3 games. They've been hit with only 18. For those who may be curious, most penalties in an NFL game, 22 held by the Chicago Bears and the old Brooklyn Dodgers back in the 1944 season. It's a 1st and 20 at the 23. The swing for Smith, and he is tripped up inside the 15-yard line. Jimmy Smith taken down by Willie Clay.
They ran this play earlier. This is really a college play where you're going to bring, it's a screen play inside from a wide receiver position. You know, in college, the offensive lineman can go down the field and block in front of the catch. And this one, you just let the defense rush, throw back over their head, and it becomes like a screen play over the middle. Picked up some yardage that time. First time didn't work.
It is now 2nd down and 12 at the 15-yard line. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Jaguars driving, looking to take the lead after trailing at one point, 22-0. Here is Brunelle trying to step up and gets it away. Will it be called within the grasp? It is ruled a sack. Chris Slade getting credit.
Anytime the official feels that he is completely in the control of the defensive man, he can call the sack at that point. And really, he is right here. Good protection. They brought four rushers this time, Chris Slade being the 4th one. A real close call, but I think Larry Nemers has been very consistent in this ball game in calling it sacks versus the throwaways.
Chris Slade picking up the bulk of the sacks here at home. It's his 3rd of the season, 2nd of the day for the Patriots. And Brunelle, was it completed? Let's see, down at the 10-yard line. Willie Jackson with the attempt, and it is ruled a completed pass. 13-yard hookup as Jackson running the pattern in front of Larry Wiggum. It is short of a first down, and that will bring on Mike Hollis. Hollis attempting to tie it from 28 yards away. Hollis on the season, 4 for 5. He missed earlier from 42 yards out. And Hollis ties the game at 25. It is called officially a 27-yard field goal. 8:26 left, fourth quarter.
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand-tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now and try our new Roma herb crust or any large one-topping pizza for $9.99. Any second one-topping pizza, just $4.99.
How's business? Good question for sales or accounting, but not one you'd ask your shipping department. Until now. Introducing UPS Online. Powerful software, not just to point, click, and ship, but to tell you how a product is moving in the Northeast. Customize delivery schedules. Even prepare export documents. With UPS Online, your shipping department becomes a high-speed on-ramp to the information highway. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
You will be called private, specialist, or sergeant. Beneath the ribbons on your chest will be the souls of those who came before. You will be an individual, but triumph as a team. You will know strength, courage, and compassion. You will win what must be won, achieve what must be done. Be all that you can be. You will be a soldier.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now to enjoy a hot and delicious Domino's Pizza during the game. For hot and wow, call Domino's now.
A light rain has begun to fall here in Foxborough, which will not help the conditions on the field. Already a problem area because of the soccer game played here last night. This is not what New England expected. It appeared to be they were on their way to a romp. In front at one point, 22-0. The game is now tied at 25. And this is Troy Brown with the kick return, finding the opening. And that is taken down across the 40-yard line. A 32-yard return. Jimmy Smith with the tackle of Troy Brown. 8:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. The game is tied at 25. Reminder, you can follow the NFL on NBC at NBC.com/sports. Scoring updates, game summaries all day long. Only online site for your football needs, Sam. And it's at NBC.com/sports.
Football needs?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll get into that later. All right, Bledsoe to throw on first down, looking for the tight end coach, and it was broken up by Kevin Hardy.
Kevin Hardy was just running man for man with Coates underneath him. The ball was thrown really pretty well because it had to be dropped over the top of Kevin Hardy, the #1 draft pick for Jacksonville this year. It looks like he's reading this one all the way. Very nice throw, just a good defensive play by Hardy. You know, in the fourth quarter coming into this game, Drew Bledsoe is 16 for 40, fourth from the bottom in the league. On the other hand, Mark Brunelle is #1, 20 for 30 in the fourth quarter.
It is a 2nd and 10 at the 42-yard line. Play action. And Bledsoe's pass is complete. But the hit offered immediately by Mickey Washington on Sean Jefferson. Made his 4th catch of the day. Check the scoreboard. Kansas City now by 3 over Denver. Green Bay with just a 4-point lead on Minnesota late in the fourth quarter. How about Carolina? They beat the 49ers last year. Carolina will play Jacksonville next week in Jacksonville. And the Giants lead the Jets 13-6. That's now a final score. Here's Curtis Martin. And Martin running for the first down. Brought down by Smendy and Davis. Curtis Martin hearing it from the crowd. I recall Rich Kotite this week saying it was a must game for the Jets, which does not leave him much room to operate after the loss here to the Giants.
Kind of a rule you don't want to break that rule by putting any game in a must category, especially this early in the season. But I think Rich probably felt like he needed to say that, put a little pressure on his team.
All right, first down at the 44-yard line, and Bledsoe to the sideline, completes. Looked to be a first down. Jefferson pushed back the other way. Yes, they mark his forward progress in first down territory. Jefferson covered by Mickey Washington.
Earlier, Jefferson had a concussion. It was in the Miami ball game, but watch the reaction. The body control going up, taking a hit. I tell you what, and afterwards excited about the catch himself. Those are the kind of plays, though, that turn a team on. Everybody feeds off of that.
Sean Jefferson, born and raised in Jacksonville, attended Raines High School in the Jacksonville area. And a first down at the 32-yard line. Here's Martin trying to cut to his right, but stopped by McManus. Patriots and the Jaguars tied at 25. We're coming up now on 6 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter.
Drew Bledsoe has really been spreading it around. 10 passes to the running backs, 8 to the wide receivers, 3 to the tight ends. And remember, his favorite receiver going in, Ben Coates, the tight end.
And for Coates, to this point, it has been a quiet day. Now Bledsoe with the dump-off pass, finding Coates, but they are able to gang tackle, led by Davis and Thomas, and it is short of a first down. 3rd and 5.
You can feel the intensity and the focus of both sides of the ball. Both teams now realize that this is a fourth quarter winner take all. Look how Ben Coates protects that football. When you're stood up like that, you know the second guy is going to come in and try to steal the ball. The first guy is going to stand you up. The second guy wants the possession.
Bledsoe again could not find anyone and runs for the first down. He hesitated and then was able to pick it up with that dive move.
Not what you call a pretty runner, but effective there. And it was the same kind of second effort getting the first down that he had at the end of the first half last week. Pressure coming, moves up in the pocket, smart there. Right here he decides, I got to get across that first down marker. Just enough for the first down.
This is a matchup of two teams with records of 1 up and 2 down. And it has come down to the final 4.5 minutes. Martin trying to dance, looking for the room. It did not open. McManus, who's played well since coming on for the injured Brian Schwartz, made the stop.
Same play they scored on in the first half. A little lead draw with Sam Gash being the lead blocker. It's worked for him once down and really hasn't produced a lot after that, but it sets up a lot of other things because you keep everybody honest, show pass, and then run the ball.
Ninth play of the drive. New England has had the ball for 4.5 minutes, and they are not looking to give it up with the game tied at 25. It is intercepted on a deflection. Dave Thomas with the intercept, and Dave Thomas worked his way out of the pack, and he is going all the way. But there is a penalty marker down. If it holds, it's a 79-yard interception return, but a flag is down.
Bill Parcells can't believe it. Tom Coughlin was excited, and now he sees the flag. He can't believe it. And everyone's waiting on this decision, I'll tell you. This is one of the craziest football games, most unusual scoring in this game that I've been around a long time.
We have an illegal block below the waist during the return by their intercepting team, number 37. That's half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. First down for Jacksonville.
Well, Chris Hudson was called for the penalty during that interception run by Thomas. So, of most significance, the Jaguars will have the ball, although Thomas was called back.
As we watch that, let's explain the rule. Anytime there's a change of possession, whether it's a punt or whether it's a field goal that's blocked or whether there's an interception or a fumble recovery, you cannot block below the waist. You have to block on the jersey or higher.
So Jacksonville with their 16th penalty of the game, but they'll have it when we come back.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing to worry about coming from your tailpipe, because with every stroke of your engine, motor oil is being vaporized into exhaust, leaving less and less protection. That's why there's Castrol GTX 10W30. Of every leading 10W30, Castrol provides the most protection against volatility burn-off. So use Castrol, or watch more of your protection go up in smoke. Castrol GTX, the most protection against volatility burn-off.
This toothbrush is my life. Why'd I have to pick archaeology? My father begged me to be a lawyer.
Hey, it's never too late.
Yeah, right. What about you, man? You ever think about retiring?
Peter, my friend, I am retired.
For people with their own idea of retirement.
And I was a lawyer.
Now there's Aetna Retirement Services. We not only give you the tools to build assets, but manage them as well. Build for retirement, manage for life.
It's the middle of the night. She woke up with heartburn. She should take Zantac 75. The medicine in here was prescribed by doctors over the last 5 years, more than all other medicines of its kind combined. Just one Zantac 75 relieves nighttime heartburn. So take one of these and call me in the morning.
Zantac 75, the final word in acid relief.
NBC tonight. The battle to conquer Earth comes to a head.
The big giant head.
Good Dick is trapped in the basement.
There's an invisible box.
While Evil Dick's upstairs getting acquainted.
Next time it won't be so nice.
How about a romantic dessert? And Dennis Rodman, the 1-hour Third Rock premiere, NBC tonight.
All right, 3:40 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Jaguars have taken over. Third interception of the season for Bledsoe a moment ago. Here's Stewart, and he's hit back behind the line. Chris Slade with the stop on James Stewart.
The reason the touchdown was brought back a moment ago, Chris Hudson right here is going to block below the waist. There has been a change of possession. The ball went from one side, one team to another. You can't block below the waist, even though it's a good block. Had it been from a normal down line of scrimmage, it would have counted.
And Bledsoe intercepted for the first time since he was picked off twice by the Dolphins on opening day, when 118 attempts without being intercepted. Second and 13. And Brunelle with a bullet, able to complete to a spinning Willie Jackson, who is just short of the first down. Willie McGinnis on the stop. Second catch for Jackson. Clock is running. We're down to 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It has been a wild afternoon of football here in Foxborough. Patriots at 1 point led 22-0. Jaguars able to get back into it with 3 huge plays, including a Hail Mary right at the end of the first half. 2 long touchdown passes from Brunelle to Risen. It is a third down and about a yard. Brunelle completing for the first down and more to McCardell. And he's out across the 40-yard line. Stopped by Lawyer Malloy. That's an 18-yard pickup.
Still in a zone, the New England Patriots. You can see Mark Brunelle getting more confidence. Early in the game, he played like a guy that didn't have any confidence. Pecking away right now. Remember, all they need is field goal position.
2-minute warning. We'll be back in a moment.
You're the one I can count on day after day. There's no second guessing. Show me the way. You're a part of me. That's the heart of me. Together we are harmony. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
Next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern on the NFL on NBC. The Silver and Black attack the Windy City when Haas and the Raiders take on the Chicago Bears. Or Steve Bono and the Chiefs clash with Junior Seau and the Chargers. Or regional action next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern on the NFL on NBC.
And the weirdness continues. Watch on this play. Keenan McCardell is going to make the catch, but watch the 2 defenders run right into each other, leaving McCardell wide open for the completion. That was not a poor coverage design. It was just two guys bumping into each other and knocking themselves out of position to make a play.
2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Jacksonville and New England are tied at 25. And the Jaguars 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. And we apologize for some of the video difficulties that we are working on. Tom Coughlin looking very frustrated, very upset in the first half. A host of penalties on his team, 16 in all. They were down 22-zip. But now with a chance to pull it out in dramatic fashion. And Brunelle completing again. But this time, Pete Mitchell held in check. Larry Wiggum on the stop. Now Brunelle is 22 for 35 and a total of 374 yards. 374 yards passing is the high for the NFL this season. And that is by virtue of the 51, 41, and 61-yard touchdown pass plays. Brunelle, it is dropped by Mitchell.
We almost saw another one of those kind of plays. You know, he's thrown for a lot of yardage, but right now he's taking it in small chunks. They still have 2 timeouts with 1:28 left, so plenty of time. Nothing wrong with the throw. It's dying a little bit right at the end. It's not quite carrying to the receiver. Takes his eye off of it right at the end. Almost intercepted.
A 3rd and 7. And they're on their feet here at Foxborough. Urging on the defense. 1:28 remaining.
Oh.
And flags are tossed.
They're going to call that against the offense. The defense moved, but they can't move. They can't make contact. Only if it is done with the intention of trying to draw the offense off. And it looks like, according to the conversation that the Jaguars are overhearing, it's what happened.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense, number 95, in the neutral zone and the offensive flinch. That's a 5-yard penalty.
As Dwayne Sapp moved into the neutral zone now, I really don't know when the officials are going to make this call. Right here, watch right here. When they're going to make this call or when they're going to call movement. Because you see the tackle move for Jacksonville, Baselli, but they ruled that the defense created the movement.
It is a 3rd down and 2 at midfield. Brunelle overthrowing. He was able to hang in against the pressure. The intended receiver was Pete Mitchell, covered by Chris Slade, and it is a 4th down and 2, and the punting unit has come on. Brian Barker back at his 35-yard line with 1:23 to go.
And let's see if he punts this one out of bounds rather than give that ball to the strong suit in the punting game, Dave Meggett.
5th punt of the game for Barker. Meggett is back at his 10. And Meggett lets it go. It carries in. So on the touchback, they'll bring it out to the 20, 51-yard punt by Barker. Patriots take over with 1:13 left in the 4th.
In the beginning was the ordinary battery. Then came the long-lasting Duracell battery. And now, the next leap forward, introducing Duracell Power Check, the only battery with a fuel gauge, so you can see how much power it has, anytime, anywhere. New Duracell Power Check, the world's most advanced battery.
Back in Foxborough, Marv Albert along with Sam Wyche. 1:13 left in the 4th quarter. Jacksonville and New England are tied at 25. And Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots back to the offense. The draw for Meggett. So Meggett, well, picks up short yardage, stopped by Kelvin Pritchard.
Drew Bledsoe's calling all of these plays. At least he told us he called a 2-minute drill. He's got about 8 plays to choose from. Now, that one was called from the sideline. See if you can make something happen, and if you don't get out of the hole right here, go into overtime. Both teams have enough timeouts to stop this clock in their favor.
Second down and 8. And Bledsoe going sideline on the catch by Terry Glenn. Covered by the free safety, Chris Hudson, a pickup of 12. It stops the clock with 39 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Patriots do have 3 timeouts left.
This is their #1 draft pick, Terry Glenn, Ohio State. Those feet just go dead in the official rule. They both touch the turf inbounds. Big play for a rookie.
Fourth catch of the day for Glenn, and a first down at the 34-yard line. There's Bledsoe to the middle of the field, so they'll need a timeout. Dave Thomas on the coverage. And again, it's Terry Glenn with the catch. Patriots take the timeout with 33 seconds remaining in regulation.
I got a phone call this morning from one of our oldest customers. He fired us. After 20 years, he fired us. Said he didn't know us anymore. I think I know why. We used to do business with a handshake, face to face. Now it's a phone call and a fax. Get back to you later. With another fax, probably. Well, folks, some things gotta change. That's why we're gonna set out for a little face-to-face chat with every customer we have.
But Ben, that's gotta be over 200 cities.
I don't care.
Every business is a people business. The 50,000 people who are the employee owners of United never forget that. Come fly the airline that gets its power from its people.
Ben, where are you going? To visit that old friend who fired us this morning.
Come fly our friendly skies.
You, and you have the right to play sports until the cows come home.
You have the right to assemble.
You have the right to be equipped.
You have the right to free speech.
But anything you say can be held against you.
That's life.
Liberty.
And the pursuit of the goal.
But you don't have the right to remain thirsty.
Not when there's Gatorade.
Because every athlete has the right to be quenched.
These are your rights.
Now get out there and exercise them.
Life is a sport.
Drink it up.
Monday, Jeff Foxworthy premieres on NBC.
This is it.
It's beefy Monday comedy.
What do the different hearts mean? That's how many heart attacks they attribute to the particular day.
The Foxworthy premiere, a show so funny you'll eat a bug. Then Apple gives Mr. Rhodes an A-.
I'll give you a minute to get used to looking at me.
The Foxworthy Rhodes premiere, NBC Monday.
Well, this one could come down to Adam Vinatieri, who is 4 of 5 today. Here's Bledsoe on 1st and 10. Again, he goes sideline, and a wonderful play as Megan was able to get out of bounds. Patriots do have 2 timeouts remaining with 28 seconds to go in regulation.
This is a team effort here. Good protection, good throw, touch on the ball, and looking it all the way in for Megan and getting immediately out of bounds. 28 seconds left. They still have 2 timeouts, so there's no problem with the clock right here. They're just trying to get within field goal range. The closer, the better.
First down at the Jacksonville 41. Vinatieri's career high is 42 yards away. They'd have to get to about the 25. Oh, it's almost picked off. Dave Thomas had it, and he is upset. The pass intended for Hassan Graham, but Thomas had it in his hands and could not hold on.
You know, when the ball is thrown to the sideline, if you arc out the throw, the ball really knocked loose by the ground. If you arc the throw out, if you throw the ball 5 yards down the field, but you're throwing all the way to the sideline, that's 20 more yards. The sideline is 53 yards wide from sideline to sideline. If you're standing in the middle, you're only throwing about a 25-yard pass. Better to throw it down the middle. You've got timeouts to stop the clock.
22 seconds remaining. Second down and 10. And that was deflected as Bledsoe tried to swing it. And it brings up a 3rd and 10 with 19 seconds remaining and the 2 timeouts.
All right, I'm going to play Bill Parcells here for just a second, or Ray Perkins. I would put the ball, I'd throw the football down the middle. I'd put it right down the middle. Don't worry about the coverage. They've been giving you the inside throws right now. I'd call timeout, kick your field goal.
Let's see how Bledsoe plays it. Having difficulty finding anyone and then decided to throw it away.
So they had a receiver breaking across the field. Megan was coming across. Terry Glenn was coming across. So the pattern was designed to go down the middle, but when he got flushed out, all bets were off. Now it's 4th down.
Bledsoe now 25 of 40, 217 yards, and New England has taken a timeout with 13 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Well, Sam, something you can certainly relate to tonight on Dateline. Everyone, as you know, wants a flat, hard stomach, but how well do those ab machines you see advertised really work? The kind of machine that the Wyches have in the rec room.
We have his and hers, actually.
Right. Find out on Dateline NBC tonight, right here on NBC.
His is almost unused. If you'd like one, I could give you a real good deal on it. But 4th down, 4th down right here with 13 seconds left to go. They're bringing their 4 wide receivers out on the field, it looks like. You put the ball down. The Hail Mary at the end of the first half worked for Jacksonville. Take your shot down there again. They could also go just for the first down. Get it down around the 30-yard line. And they've got to make the first down. The timeout wouldn't help them because they would give the ball up to Jacksonville without a first down.
13 seconds remaining. And Bledsoe with a bullet to the sideline, and it is broken up. Dave Thomas with the coverage on Terry Glenn. Crowd reacting, appealing for an interference penalty, but it will not be called. We're down to 8 seconds, and Jacksonville will take over on downs.
This could very easily have been called. The crowd has reason to be groaning a little bit because it's a close play. He gets there maybe an instant early. Bill Parcells looking at the play down the middle. They had the timeout, remember. Had he caught it, they'd just call timeout. Plead your case from that sideline all you want, but it's not going to change anything. Not a bad call. Get down there, first down, in field goal range. Now, will Jacksonville try another Hail Mary? We'll let you call this one, Marv. You always wanted to do this situation.
I say he fires it downfield.
I do too.
All right. 8 seconds left from the Jacksonville 41. Took the low snap and comes up shorter range. Well, he fired it downfield, not quite that far. Jimmy Smith over at the far side, the intended receiver. So we are down to 3 seconds remaining.
Now on that play, had they been able to get far enough downfield to get into field goal range, see the 3 seconds left on the clock, 2 or 3 seconds left, call timeout immediately, and you try your long field goal. But now it's got to be the Hail Mary and just hope that something good happens for Jacksonville.
Well, they did connect right at the end of the half with time running out off a deflection. Jimmy Smith was able to come up with the ball. And here is Brunelle waiting for his receivers to go downfield, and here it is. It is caught at the goal line, but time has run out. Do you believe this? The catch was made again on a deflection, but just short of the goal line.
This has been one of the most unusual football games ever played, period. It has to be. Now there's still no discussion. Both officials marked that right.
It is Andre Rison and another Jacksonville player. We're waiting for them to unravel. Keenan McCardell also there. They have already made the ruling no touchdown. Tom Coughlin was looking for the touchdown call. Willie Jackson also in the file. And here is another look at it.
You look back there, Willie McGinnis is back there. The ball comes down. The ball has to cross the plane of the goal line. They actually had back there a deep, deep safety.
Wow. And that was Willie Jackson. And then he was joined by McCardell and Rison. And now we go to overtime.
The clock stopping inside 5 minutes when it goes out of bounds and penalties, and with a 2-minute warning. There'll be 2 timeouts for each team.
So Brunelle able.
Jacksonville's the visiting team. Who's going to call the coin?
Brunelle with a 58-yarder.
tail. It's head. New England would like to receive. Which goal you want to defend?
You want to defend this goal, right?
This the first ever overtime in the 2-year history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Back after this from your local station.
Dateline Sunday, those rock-hard abs, they're yours for a price. But how well do these machines really work? Plus, Lucy's Secret Tapes, Dateline, your new choice on Sunday.
The revolution begins here.
From now on, the promise of the internet and the power of television become one. Because from now on, NBC News and Microsoft will revolutionize the way you get news.
MSNBC.
A 24-hour cable and internet news service. The future of news from the people you know. Call your cable operator for MSNBC.
NBC tonight. The battle to conquer Earth comes to a head.
The big giant head.
Good Dick is trapped in the basement.
There's an invisible box.
While Evil Dick's upstairs getting acquainted.
Next time it won't be so nice.
How about a romantic dessert? And Dennis Rodman, the 1-hour Third Rock premiere, NBC tonight.
Tonight, Steven Seagal is on Deadly Ground, the explosive network premiere that takes you to the top of the world on Deadly Ground, NBC tonight.
Monday morning on Sunrise, a Rhode Island software success story, and day one of the new Green Airport. Art and Diana are live on the scene.
Turn to NBC 10 for the Harvard Pilgrim 5K.
It is on to overtime for the very first time in the history of the Jaguars. How about Brunelle with another long pass play for 58 yards to Willie Jackson? He is now passed for 432 yards, 23 of 39. That's a high for the NFL this season. Sudden death overtime, and Mike Hollis of the Jaguars kicking it off. Played by Troy Brown. And Brown looking to hold on to that football. You may recall, if you were with us at the start, the opening kickoff was fumbled by Meggett, who then went on to have an excellent game in returning punts. 19-yard return by Brown, and here's Bledsoe, 25 of 41 for 217 yards, and he will start out from his 29.
Very solid game, too. It's a lot of throws. Only one touchdown involved right there, and he's had several dropped in this ball game. He's made another step forward. Now he's got as big a quarter as he will have right now.
And the Patriots with Sam Gash flanked to the right side. Bledsoe looking the other way. And completes for short yardage to the wide receiver, Sean Jefferson, who was met by the right corner, Mickey Washington.
In overtime, Marv, you don't think this way, but in overtime, you don't want to make mistakes any more than you have to make good plays. In other words, if you're not able to make a good play, get rid of the ball. Don't run the risk of making a mistake in overtime. There's no time to recover. It's the next person to score wins.
Second down and 4 from the 35. Off the play action. Bledsoe throwing, incomplete, intended for Glenn, who was covered by Thomas, and a late flag. Well, Dave Thomas involved right at the end of regulation. There was not a call in that instance. And right here we get the marker on the corner. Dave Thomas in his 4th season out of Tennessee.
Number 41, automatic first down.
People may wonder why that flag's coming from way back there. That's what that official is for passes down the field in the middle. If the right arm of the defender, Dave Thomas, if he's got his right arm holding, it doesn't matter whether it interferes with the ball, he's interfering with the player.
Unheard of 17th penalty against Jacksonville. Play action. And Bledsoe puts it up. Wide open Terry Glenn. And run out at the 21 by Mickey Washington.
Glenn comes from the slot position up here at the top of the screen right here. Going to go up the field and back to the corner. Wide open, just a hole in the zone. Now, the key to this one is no turnover type mistakes. Get as close as you can to make the field goal as easy as possible. Remember, we've got a kicker here that has had a couple of shaky kicks.
Unusually long pass play completed by Bledsoe. That was good for 42 yards and a first down at the Jacksonville 21. A quick pop by Curtis Martin. And certainly Adam Vinatieri's problems will play into the judgments of Bill Parcells in terms of whether he does go for the field goal to try and win it, or do you try to get closer and closer? That certainly adds the risk value in giving the ball back.
Well, you don't run a risky play here. That's not going to happen. At the same time, this is a turning point in this kid's career right here. Adam Vinatieri is going to have a chance to win the ball game in overtime. And a lot of his future will ride on whether it's in or out.
From here, it's a 38-yard field goal. But it's a second down and 10. And Bledsoe throwing for Glenn for the end zone. He's out of bounds. It is incomplete. The catch was made out of bounds.
Not a risky play. Some people may think the long pass is a low percentage. But once that ball's in the air and you've got a guy that's got great body control, and Terry Glenn, both feet have to come in bounds. Whoa. Very, very close.
Oh, they were in. Here's another look.
1, 2. If we could get one more look from the end zone, I think it's our best view.
Well, they are discussing it. It looked like that first angle, he got the feet in. The second replay we saw might have been closer to the line, but off that first replay, it appeared that Glenn caught it in bounds, and apparently they are looking at the replay in their own minds.
But one official can overrule another official. They're going to come up with what they think is the right call, not just the first call that's made.
The ruling on the field is his second foot hit the line. The pass is incomplete.
We get a chance to take another look. Ball's in his possession. It really, if any foot touched the line, it had to be the first foot. It looks there that it did touch the line. A good call.
I changed my opinion after seeing that replay. He did step on the line, and it was the correct call.
People on the 50-yard line want our opinion. They're up here. You can see the replay.
It is a third and 10 at the 21-yard line. And Bledsoe hanging in the pocket and had nowhere to go. Couldn't find anyone and is taken down by Kelvin Pritchett. And here comes Adam Vinatieri. 4 of 5 today. He's hit from 23, from 30, from 29, from 41. He missed from 44. How about the field conditions?
Field conditions are good. Look for a timeout from Jacksonville here in just a minute to ice them a little bit. No wind.
This a 40 or 41. It's about a 40-yard kick. His career high 42, and here is that timeout. 12:28 left in overtime. Jaguars and Patriots tied at 25.
Together we are better than we could ever be alone. We'll be a team forever. The world is ours to own. You're a part of me. That's the heart of me. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing to worry about coming from your tailpipe, because with every stroke of your engine, motor oil is being vaporized into exhaust, leaving less and less protection. That's why there's Castrol GTX 10W30. Of every leading 10W30, Castrol provides the most protection against volatility burn-off. So use Castrol, or watch more of your protection go up in smoke. Castrol GTX, the most protection against volatility burn-off.
It is all on the foot from South Dakota State, Adam Vinatieri. 40-yard attempt coming up. His career-long 42.
Kevin Hardy, number 51, trying to...
Little jinx attempt, huh?
Trying to get inside that helmet of Adam Vinatieri. And I'll tell you right now, if they're not saying something, that defensive unit right now is looking right through him, trying to make him feel the spears being shot from their eyes. A hard-fought game, both sides. And as I mentioned earlier, this is one of those games, regardless of who wins it, neither coach is going to be real happy because it's been that kind of a game where mistakes and big plays that have hurt both sides, actually.
So what a moment for Adam Vinatieri, who was reading all week in the papers that he's called week to week by Bill Parcells. The angle is to the left from 40 yards away to win the game for the Patriots. It is good. The New England Patriots on a 40-yard field goal by Adam Vinatieri have defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2.5 minutes into overtime. And Tom Coughlin and Bill Parcells, who have had a long relationship going back to their days together with the Giants, meet at midfield. The Patriots even up the record at 2-2. We'll be right back